Perth. From the United States, the newly crowned U.S. men's curling champion from Minnesota, Scott Baird. From all the way down under, from Australia, from Melbourne, he appeared at the '92 Olympics in Albertville, Hugh Milliken. And making the trip from Sweden, a former junior champion, Peter Lindholm, putting his talents up against Canada's best. How often have we seen Canada's best have been the world's best? Russ Howard, Ed Wernick, Ed Lukowich, and Al Hackner. And this week, the world's best were all in Calgary looking to win the World Curling Tour's Players' Championship. 1986, Lukowich was king of the world. The two-time world champion, Russ Howard from Penetang-Washeen. And Ed Wernick, in '83 and again in '90, he stood highest on the podium. Began, but only 4 remain, and no one knows more about winning this year than Russ Howard. He is into the semifinals. So is the wrench, Ed Wernick. From Alberta, the 1991 Brier champion, Kevin Martin. And a 2-time Brier champion, a world winner when he played with Pat Ryan, now skipping his own team, Don Walchuk. They're playing for $64,000 in total prize monies. These 4 teams guaranteed at least $9,000. The winner of this year's VO Cup will take home $32,000. We're playing the free guard zone, the 3-rock rule, similar to the Labatt Brier Scott Tournament of Hearts. 75 minutes per team, and they will also have 2 one-minute timeouts. Our opening semifinal is all Alberta, all Edmonton, all Otwell Curling Club. It's Martin against Walchuk, and then the rivalry continues. Tonight, it's the wrench, Wernick against Howard. What a day. The Seagram's VO Cup on TSN.
TSN Championship Curling. Today, the semifinal of the 1994 Seagram's VO Cup. Live from the Calgary Curling Club. Brought to you by Seagram Canada.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Calgary Curling Club and TSN's coverage of this 1994 Seagram's VO Cup, the Players' Championship of the World Curling Tour. And we have a couple of very interesting semifinals in store. I think we have 4 teams who are very familiar to curlers right across the country, and 4 teams that know absolutely everything about each other in our opening semifinal. And not only is it all Alberta, it is all Edmonton, and the 2 teams, Martin and Walchuk, come from the same curling club, the Otwell Curling Club. So as I say, they know everything there is about each other. Here's Linda.
Well, you know, Vic, it's a very interesting factor that you're just mentioning. We know these teams are great. They've had to play very well to get to this point. With the free guard zone rule in effect, they've had to make some big shots. But the fact that they know each other is the very interesting factor today. I always found as a player that you play with more intensity when you know the other team very well. The thing that you have to be careful about is that you don't alter your game plan. You know their strengths and weaknesses so well, sometimes you tend to play differently than you should. These teams, all 4 today, know how to play the free guard zone rule well. The first game, I think you'll see it a little more wide open. Don Walchuk and Kevin Martin like to play a little more open, a few more takeouts until they get settled into the game. Later today, Russ Howard and Ed Wernick are going to go for it from the first end. They all know each other very well, and we're going to see some great curling today.
Didn't know if Ray Turnbull would be alongside. Glad he is, but I think with mixed emotions you're here because your team lost in the semifinals of the seniors last night in Moose Jaw. Gave it a good run.
Well, we had a great week. It was a wonderful week. Some tremendous teams. We lost last night to BC, Jim Horswell in a terrific...
That's Linda's province, you know.
Yeah, well, I know that. She'll be mentioning that for the rest of the season. It was an excellent game. We had Last Rock coming home in a tie game, and they made some great shots and stole the single to win. And they played David Sullivan from New Brunswick today in the final.
What's your thought on this? All Alberta, all Edmonton, all club. Can you know too much about a team when you're going on the ice?
Well, I think you and Linda make a good point that they do know each other, and I also agree with Linda when she says that the game this afternoon should be a little bit more wide open. We know what Russ and Eddie are going to do. They go after each other tooth and thong, but I don't think so. I think that the fact that they're playing the free-guard zone rule and you're playing on an ice surface which is just magnificent with great stones, so you'll see lots of offense.
All right, when we come back, we'll have our opening semifinal for you. We've got two great semifinals from the Calgary Curling Club. It all begins with Walchuk and Martin. It is the Seagrams VO Cup, and it's right here on TSN.
The dedication, the tradition, the craftsmanship. Seagram Symphonia presents musical excellence in partnership with symphony orchestras across Canada, bringing enjoyment to Canadians from coast to coast, with over 30 concerts this season. Watch for the next Seagram Symphonia concert in your community. Seagram Symphonia, proud to play a part.
Right now at Tim Hortons, you can get a sandwich and a 16 fluid-ounce Coke from only $3.19 to $3.99. I'm sorry, we can't actually show you your sandwich because we haven't made it yet. We can't even show you our crusty bread because we haven't baked it yet. You see, at Tim Hortons, we make sandwiches fresh for you. Fortunately, we can show you this sandwich we've just made for me. If you want to see your sandwich, you'll just have to order one. Thank you.
Always got time for Tim Hortons.
Good deal.
As this is said to be the decade families will be hunting for real value, Volvo thought it best to make that search a little easier. Introducing Volvo Affordable Pricing. Available on new 1994 cars, it's Volvo's way of hitting families right where it helps.
We asked Canadian Air Cargo people if they had anything they wished to express. Bob, Mickey, and Barb talked about the way we handle anything from envelopes and packages to the big stuff. Renata and Terry expressed delight with our beautiful new freighters. These guys stress service quality and the care we take with every shipment. Finally, we asked Dave here to express himself. But he said our spacious envelope just wasn't quite big enough. Express overnight, door to door, from just $9.99.
Here are the two teams in this opening semifinal of this 1994 Seagrams VO Cup from the Otwell Curling Club. They both are. This is team Kevin Martin. On the left is their skip, the 27-year-old Kevin Martin. Kevin Park is their third, reunited after a year when they played on different teams. The new member is their second, James Paul, and the lead, the familiar Don Bartlett. Also from Alberta, also from Edmonton, also from the Otwell Curling Club. The skip is Don Walchuk. The third, Randy Furby. Both those players, of course, played with Pat Ryan in their Brier Championship and World Championship years. The newcomers are the second, 23-year-old Trevor McGregor, and the lead is 22-year-old Marcel Rock. The ice has been terrific all week, Ray, and the players have had nothing but compliments again for ice maker Shorty Jenkins.
Well, you're right, Vic. The short man's here, and when the short man's around, you get great ice. And Shorty was telling me this morning there's been a little bit of a problem with the tape, with these lines here, getting up over them. But guess what? When you're going from the inside out like so, you're talking 2.5 to 3 both ways. So lots of movement like so. 3 going to the wings, about 2.5 to 3 going into the center. All kinds of movement, which makes for exciting curling. Great ice and great stones as well.
So we're ready for this opening semifinal. They had a draw to the button to determine who would have last rock here in this first end, as you take a look at Kevin Martin. Interesting, Martin at 1 a.m. this morning was in the dentist's office here in Calgary to have an abscess and a root canal. And they called on Dan Petrick, a former teammate of theirs, whose brother Steve is a dentist. We saw those two, of course, at the Briar. And so Steve came down in his pajamas to the clinic to do the root canal, and he says his mouth is still a little bit frozen.
That's pretty good service.
I'll say. In his pajamas, you say.
Oh, yeah. Relaxed kind of dentist.
Just to continue on with the ice a little bit, obviously when you have an ice maker like Shorty Jenkins and a crew that works along, and the crew that works along with him, you're going to get a circus. And since I've been here and talking to Russ and Eddie and all the critters, they've said nothing but wonderful things about the ice surface. With that kind of movement, it'll change actually. You're getting about, when you go to the wings, in other words, you go to the outside 12 foot from the inside out, you're talking about 3.5 feet of swing, and that's fantastic for getting around those corner guards, Linda. The other thing is it's running about, we'll talk about hog line to T line, that's what Howard uses, and he's set down actually, but we'll talk about hog line to T line. It's running about 24, 25 to 25 and a half.
Right up. Here we go.
Marcel Rock is the lead for the Don Walchuk team from the Otwell Club, and it'll be Don Bartlett with his first stone for Kevin Martin. Martin with last rock here in this first end.
And as I mentioned, a little indication there of what Don Walchuk's trying to accomplish here. He brings his first rock into the rings. He's trying to bring the play in and keep it a little more open. But Kevin Martin isn't going for that. He's going to put up the corner guard and trying to get things going to the sides with him having last rock.
Oh, got a lot. Let's wait, Donnie.
That's the rule, and that's what makes the game so wonderful. By putting this corner guard up now, it cannot be removed from play, and you know, we're into an offensive end. There's just no question. There's the rock on the 4 foot. Don Walchuk is going to put the guard on it. He's going to play it tight, which would allow Kevin Martin to maybe try the hit and the double and the roll behind the corner. And athletes at this level make these hits and rolls on a regular basis. So that corner guard, the rock out in front, coming into view in a moment, will be the stone that will set up the chance for extra points.
No.
Maybe we should freeze it.
No. We freeze it? Yep.
They didn't want this one in. They're trying to bring them closer now, so they're more difficult to double off. One right in front of the other.
Front of the bean.
They're frozen, so hit it on the nose.
Don Bartlett's parents are here to watch him play. They're up from Gander, Newfoundland, on their way to Phoenix. Wanted to say hello to Joyce and Al, and to his wife Shauna, son Stuart.
Oh boy, quick shot.
Well, that's what they wanted, because although the Yellowstone isn't shot rock, it's very difficult to do anything with it. It's frozen to the red stone.
Just draw weight.
So all Don Walchuk can do now is rearrange them a little bit so that you can't drive the yellow one back and remove that red stone.
The Walchuk second is Trevor McGregor.
Right off. No. Sliding good, John. Uh-oh. Nope. Okay.
Are they lined up, Linda?
James Paul, Trevor McGregor are the opposite numbers at second. Interesting makeup of both these teams. Linda Ray, Walchuk, Walchuk,
normal weight.
They are, the experienced members. Then you have Rock and McGregor, the young front end, similar very much to Russ Howard. All sort of paying their dues right now with some more experienced players.
I think the red one may be lined up with the back one. No. The back red stone.
That last red one was much too deep in the rings. It wasn't at all what they wanted.
Soon see, yes sir.
And he got them out. Nice. James Paul was an '89 Alberta junior champion.
Throwing big weight at this, trying to get rid of both of the stones.
Wait, whoa.
That's baby weight compared to Pat Ryan.
That went very straight. I guess that's one thing they have to be careful of. There's good movement in the ice, but with that extra weight, it went much straighter than they thought.
In behind the corner. Going to put your trusty little watch on one of these, Lou?
Yeah, I'm getting an eye on this one. The ones down the center were just sliding so easily. This one should be a little different because we're going onto a new path of the ice.
A lot of room. Right off. Right off. Right off. Whoa.
Should walk at the end. Oh, it's fine.
Finish he's talking about. If you've been with us through our telecasts through the Scott and the Briar, what we talk about is when the rock is slowing up its last 4, 6 feet, 8 feet, and we like it to finish to make that last little curl.
Two of the best thirds in the country, without a doubt. Kevin Park and Randy Furby. And our first look at Walchuk's third. Furby.
You can see this one float. That's about where that double takeout attempt was, and it does come up a little bit at the end. He'll get the nose hit, but they will have to be careful there. And on that draw, I got about 23.5 seconds, and that is moving to a new spot of ice. So already in the first end, the entire sheet is fairly fast, and especially that center line area.
I think they were talking
down normal.
Earlier in the week. It was sweeping about 25.5, and so it's and 24 was pretty normal. So it may be a little bit tighter today than it has been throughout the week. Not a lot of ice for this in-turn hit. A couple of inches. This face is very familiar to our viewers. Walchuk and Furby with Ryan, of course. Kevin Park with Kevin Martin.
The nice thing here for Kevin Martin is these two yellow stones are lined up right across the tee line. There's no double takeout possibility. All Don Walchuk can do is try and roll the shooter a little closer to the other stone and later maybe set up a double.
Yep. Hard. Wow.
Martin with a good chance for a deuce.
Clean. Okay.
We're in the first end of this opening semifinal of the 94 Seagram's VO Cup. All Alberta as Kevin Martin plays Don Walchuk. Martin with last rock.
Hurry. Hurry, guys.
Right up.
Hurry, guys.
Roll it.
Roll it to the outside. Keep them apart, as Linda suggests. You don't want the rocks are sitting perfectly for you now.
I didn't be able to get it.
Huh?
I didn't be able to get it.
Yeah, you might.
I'll throw good lead.
I'll tell you, he's going to throw this one because he's taking right in the center of the stone. And this is one thing that Don Walchuk can do.
Well, that was one of the criticisms of him stepping up to skip. He's a great hitter, and his second for Pat Ryan, he was always wonderful at these kind of shots. But he's played very well all week in every kind of shot. Nobody says now that his finesse game isn't good either.
It's really interesting because the roles on the team are so different now that the rule has changed, and skips do have to be able to throw some up weight for angle raises and for doubles because there's so many rocks in play. So push this out a little bit, I think.
No.
Sits right there.
It becomes more important that Kevin Martin gets a little roll away this time because the rock's a little higher, Linda. If you hit it on the nose, and it sets up a better angle for the double.
Throw that same weight I just threw.
Yeah, same way as you had. A little left, maybe.
Yeah, what's important, though, is not to up the weight because it is a very straight spot. Yeah, he said he was a little full. If you're at all wide or at all heavy in this spot, it will roll, and he can't afford to roll too far. Obviously, he'll be out of the rings. So they're playing that nice soft weight on this shot.
He'd probably play the soft roll in behind the corner to get 3, I guess.
First stone for Kevin Martin here in this first stand, and he does have the hammer.
Hard. 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 Right up. Come on, roll it. Roll it. Come on, roll it.
No roll. So the angle's better now for the double.
Now you got to take a run at it.
Put a half should do it, eh? Yeah. Somewhere in there. Might as well better this time.
Just wants to hit the inside corner of this first yellow stone and roll over towards the other and maybe get the double.
No.
Rock's higher now, so it's the angle's better, but got to catch the corner. It's going to be close.
Right across. Sit there for shot stone. No, it'll spin off, and it'll be a draw for 2.
It backed it up a little bit, so it's a draw for 2. You're right.
Yeah.
Had to hit a little thinner.
A little more.
Had to curl a little bit more at this point. Catch it a little bit thinner. And it's a little high. Comes across the top. Now watch it back up a little bit. And Martin is still shot rock, so it's a open draw of the rings for a deuce and a nice start.
Oh, you just got to get this back.
This is a big point, a great start to the game. He's really focusing on this very fast spot in the ice.
It's interesting. He's playing away from the center line. He's not going to be going down the center.
No, and he's playing the spot they
Doesn't
know
look
that
too bad
they
from
saw
here.
the opponent play earlier. And this
That'll
is
be
where
close.
stopwatches come into play, too. They were able to time
Keep it
rocks in this
clean.
spot earlier.
Wow. Okay. Sliding now. Clean it.
In talking to Luke and Russ and the guys earlier in the morning when I got here, they were indicating he was swinging more than that, Dick, so I think it's running a little straighter this sheet today.
Kevin Martin picks up deuce with last rock here in the first, so he has the early lead. It's the opening semifinal of the 1994 Seagram's VO Cup here on TSN.
Andrew Dunn, Canada Trust customer, age 6. Liquid assets, 279 nickels, and counting. Financial goal, mountain bike, or nickel tycoon. A small suggestion, start with the basics and see where it leads.
See that badge? It's your guarantee that a trained expert is working on your car. Midas specialists average over 100 hours of shop each year, honing up on the latest, from anti-lock brakes to emission control technologies. Trust your car to Midas.
In Canada's top curling events, more teams are turning to the hammer. The hammer improves control and draws rocks further than ever before. Never lose another shot to bristles or straw again. The hammer is the cleanest, most effective sweeping device available. Washable faceplates can be changed in moments to suit different ice conditions. You'll never have to buy another brush. The hammer is changing the way Canadians curl. Always keep the hammer. For more information, call 1-800-567-7757.
GMC Sierra, the perfect way to get away.
Nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year and Best Supporting Actor. Harrison Ford is The Fugitive. Catch it now on video cassette, wherever videos are sold.
led the World Curling Tour standings after this season, and so you see the top 5, and they are all here in Calgary, except for Rick Folk, the Brier champion. Couldn't afford the time off. He's, of course, heading to Oberstdorf in the World Championship. So Rick Folk, the only team missing from the top 10, competing at this year's Seagram's VO Cup. As we get ready to go to the second end, Kevin Martin opens with a pair. So Don Walchuk will have last rock, and this is the Martin lead, Don Bartlett.
Wow. Yeah, wait there. Wait there.
Well, it's always a nice way to get started, to pick up a deuce, you know. It
still there.
Puts a little bit of pressure. There's lots of ends to go, and giving up 2 in the first with the rule is no end of the world, but it puts a little bit of pressure, and is a game of pressure on the opposition to get their deuce back.
Hey, Donnie. Shot. Oh, boy.
The interesting thing about this event, it was just absolutely marvelous curling. I mean, there's nothing, you know, imagine all 8 teams that qualified had Brier experience. And
that's all right.
Had world experience, actually. All 8 teams that qualified had world experience is what I meant to say. And all 6 of the Canadian teams that qualified were Brier champions.
Why is it moving like that?
Kevin Martin qualified through A event, and people were saying that there was a couple of times where the team maybe had a few problems, but Kevin himself has played some big shots this week, and you pretty well need that to get through A event. It's always tough to go undefeated, and so far this team hasn't lost a game this week.
Well, there's never been any question in anybody's mind that Kevin Martin's a player.
No.
I mean, it's and now with the new rule and.
Don Bartlett was playing with Don Walchuk and Randy Furby.
A little tight to line.
He was saying that
Wait's good now.
You know, playing at the Otwell,
That's tight. It's over.
There's only a very limited number of players at this caliber, and so, you know, they end up mixing and matching, and they decided, let's get back together again, and so they are.
These 2 ends have been a terrific example of how you get extra points. The rock was thrown into the forefoot, and then you saw the corner guard placed up in front, and now the rock thrown to the forefoot again, and it sets up a situation where a hit and roll is possible.
Marcel Rock.
Yep. Hard. Whoop.
Marcel Rock, Peter Corner, they may just have the 2 most appropriate names for the game.
Your own hit, James.
Yeah, if you're going to have a name like Rock, you better curl. Either that or be a fighter.
James Paul.
Router would put you in the plumbing business, I guess.
That's right. Oh, you've seen me play.
Yes, I have.
Give up the game, be a plumber. That's right.
I wasn't inferring that at all, Vic. I just, you know.
Now, Vic's delivery was tested out yesterday at a clinic we did with some junior curlers, and they were all very impressed.
Yeah, okay.
He has that very professional trunk lift delivery.
Oh, using that trunk lift. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, that's from across 10 line.
Yep.
Looking for the roll.
Whoop.
Roll it. Try. Okay.
Well, we talked about how the teams got here, and these were, of course, the semifinals. Howard was a winner, so is Wernick, so is Martin, and Walchuk. They are the semifinalists. And then yesterday, after they played their quarters, they had a draw, and Russ Howard, being the defending champion, he drew from the Seagram's VO Cup itself, and the name he drew was that of Ed Wernick. So that's the game to come tonight, second semifinal, and here in the opener, it's Walchuk against Martin.
No chance for the roll. Couple inches of ice.
A little more than that. Right off.
Maybe maybe a little more weight than they expected, Linda, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, that's the one thing too that that you hear the curlers talk about, and it's so true. White, you know, certain types of ice surfaces are very weight sensitive. You know, I just played a week in Moose Jaw, and the ice was fine, but it was very weight sensitive. You know, if you really stepped it up in an area, you'd get a different, you know, action. It would run a lot straighter, and you really had to be careful with it. And if you just, in that case, if the weight was just stepped up a little bit and it ran that much straighter, no roll.
And of course, rolling out gives Kevin Martin a chance to take off that front rock, and the good opportunity for a couple for Walchuk really goes out the door.
It's the front stone that will generate the offense for you. So Kevin Martin, and of course we've never seen Kevin Martin peel before.
Nice.
I mean,
nice, made a few.
Turn you want. Try that way. Okay.
Randy Furby here in the second end with Martin leading Walchuk 2-0.
Come on, guys.
This is the first one we've seen really played over to the wings. We've seen the other turn on this side of the ice, but it's the first one moving this direction.
There's the high corner. Good brushing is right. Out turn peel.
Kevin talking to the fans. This is one of the really nice things. Very similar to the TSN Skins game. The Seagram's VO Cup has the spectators sitting right beside the sheet, so quite often they're talking to the players.
They were mentioning the sweeping, how hard it's been for some of the teams this week, Greg, and I think you can empathize with this. Coming into this event, it's fairly late in the season, and those that weren't in the Brier have had a long time since they were in very intense competition like this, and I think they're all feeling it a little bit. Now, by today, and you're in the cash, those things sort of go out of your mind, but some of the teams found it tough this week to get into this really hard curling, 3-game a day, and lots of sweeping with this fast ice.
Always found it tougher when I was losing than when I was winning.
That's right.
Somehow. Yep. Of course, I did a lot of work with the weights and bodybuilding over the winter to get myself ready. And if you believe that, I have this little bridge for sale. No, it's tough, and when you get physically tired, it really affects you mentally, and can affect the mechanics of your delivery as well.
Kevin Martin and his team won a little more than $26,000 on the WCT Tour this year. 3 cash deals, including $15,000 in Kelowna.
Okay.
The Wrench had a great year.
Well, he did. He was the leading money winner. He won 4 straight just before Christmas and topped 51,000 on through Hector, Howard, and Gary Shyrick. They were all here. Eugene Ritzik, he had a good year, but didn't make it. Lukowicz, Dacey. Mark Dacey always seems to have good money years, but struggles. This year, of course, he lost in the Saskatchewan Tankard final, but here he was out very quickly.
Clean. Yep. Mark. Yep. Hard.
Yeah, it didn't take very much ice, and I think that one curled. I don't think he expected it to take off like that. About halfway down, it started to move.
Probably just a hair stickier down the side, eh? No?
Well, by that, Kevin Martin is just checking with the front end, and he was inferring that if he's going from the center out towards the edges, he indicated it would be a little heavier, and I think the front end said, no, I don't think so. It's the same right across the sheet.
I'm a little light on this one, boy. Come on. Come on.
Don Bartlett is close to the stone. James Paul and now Kevin Park will jump out as well.
Come on. Slides. Come on. Come on. Push it. Come on. Come on, guys.
Look at this. They're going to get a piece.
Oh, my goodness. Look.
My goodness. They dragged it from outside the hog line to bite the edge of the 12.
That's a terrific illustration of what brushing can do. I would have bet my last dollar that wasn't going to make it. Look at this.
And they called out early for third Kevin Park to come and help, and he's leaning on that front brush. But they take it so far.
They really carried that. Don Walchuk looking for the blank here, trying to hit this rock on the outside and blank the end.
Final stone of his second end here in the opening semifinal of the Seagram's VO Cup.
No problem.
And he has his blank. So Don Walchuk, who lost in this year's Alberta Tankard Final to Ed Lukowicz, will maintain last rock, the third end, when we return to Calgary.
Hi, I'm Frank Buckley for Buckley's Mixture. When I began doing these commercials a few years ago, there was one reaction I didn't expect. People who think I was invented by an ad agency. Well, I'd like to set the record straight. I really am Frank Buckley, and my father really did develop Buckley's Mixture back in 1919. I'm not an actor. Heck, if we wanted an actor to play Frank Buckley, we could have found somebody a whole lot better than me to do it. I'd be grateful if you tried Buckley's Mixture for your cough. It really does taste awful, and it really does work. Thanks.
Oh, please, just help me this once.
Next time, get a dependable interstate battery. We check them before you buy them for fresh power. Guaranteed.
It seems some financial service companies think everybody has the same picture of their future. At the Mutual Group, we know you've got your own special image of tomorrow, and we'll help you tune into it. The Mutual Group and you, facing tomorrow together.
This Saturday's Lotto 649 guaranteed minimum jackpot is $15 million. Don't miss out.
Hey, Roberto, which is the best picture you've ever made?
The one with McCain Punch.
Catch the taste of McCain Frozen Punch. In orange, berry, and fruit punch. McCain Punch is made with real fruit juices to deliver real fruit taste, which makes McCain the punch of champions like Roberto Alomar.
Catch the taste.
Catch the real fruit taste of McCain Punch.
Saturday, experience the sights and sounds of a Caribbean horse racing tradition. Climb aboard for the Cockspur Gold Cup, Saturday on Real TV, TSN.
Kevin Martin has been one of the hottest teams here this week. Won 4 straight to qualify for the quarters. It's been a good week for you so far, hasn't it?
Oh, so far so good.
Kevin, it's nice you have Kevin back with you, and that has revitalized you and Kevin himself.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, it's nice having K-Park back. We think we grew up a little bit over the last couple of years. We're not fighting quite so much.
Oh, we loved it. We thought it was great.
Kevin, a great start, a nice 2 in the first end, and now you're able to keep it a little more open, but I guess that can't keep up with this new rule in play.
Oh, no, Donnie's coming after us, and there'll be lots of chances, and hopefully we can hang on.
We wish you the best of luck as you lead 2-0. We go to the third end. Just a reminder that we will have reports from you, daily reports on sports test from the World Curling Championships in Oberstdorf, Germany. We'll be in the Bavarian Alps, April 11th through the 15th. And, of course, then Linda and Ray and I and our entire curling crew will have the men's and women's semifinals beginning at noon Eastern on April the 16th as we watch Rick Folk and Sandra Peterson carry the Canadian colors in Oberstdorf. So Don Walchuk will have last rock as we begin this third end. Martin leading 2-0. And glad to have alongside Russ Howard, who will be playing in our second semifinal tonight.
It's out there quite a ways.
Coming your way around 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain, as he plays Ed Wernick. What did you think when you pulled his name out of the cup?
Well, it seems to be a historic thing. No matter what event we're in, we always end up against Eddie, and it makes it really interesting.
I've got some halls of eucalyptus if you want them.
Little tea and honey.
Tea and honey, that's right. Vic will fix you up, Russ.
Yeah, I really am.
It's been a busy few weeks for you.
Yeah, it really has, Vic. It's somehow we managed to get ourselves back onto TSN, which is where we're going to be. But yeah, it's been a very hectic month, and I'm going to be about August when I get my voice back.
Russ, you know, we watched the Briar, and we were there, of course, all week, but we weren't there on the weekend, and I was at home watching, and maybe you could just, we could talk a little bit about the final game against Mr. Folk. It was unbelievably entertaining. Obviously, the result wasn't the one that you liked, but Rick has been knocking on the door, and the game goes funny ways sometimes. The shot, it was at the fifth end where you played for the... you got the fourth end, the fourth end it was, the chip on the front rock.
Yeah, that was probably not the smartest call to wreck on that guard. And, but I had the option to hit the open rock, and hindsight being what it is, that might have been the option. But I'd seen Glenn's come down there, and I felt it would run a little straighter than it did. And at the hog line, whether it caught something or hit a flat spot, or we just weren't reading it, he's right. But we thought it was by, and that was a huge shot. You give
it's kind of a momentum thing. Yeah. And Glenn's you got a bad break with Glenn's, and then when you chipped it yourself, you're getting in, getting up to 3, it really turned it around. Ryan has, when he made the double in the sixth, was the fifth, and I guess it was right after that, wasn't it? Yeah. When looked, you have a chance to get 3 back, and that shows his ability with that.
Well, we went right after him, and Pat's made a couple doubles in his day, I believe, and yeah, it's the wrong team to be down 3 or 4 points on dead straight ice, that's for sure. It was pretty sick feeling once we were down 4, because those boys didn't really play.
Marcel Rock looking for the run through to get them both, and he does.
Shorty's here, Russ, and that makes for the ice surface that the curlers really love, isn't it?
He just never ceases to amaze me. It's just unbelievable. They say the ice was bending about 6 to 8 inches here before he got here. And we now have 4 feet of pull everywhere in the building, every turn, inside out, outside in, and the speed's been consistent every game, and I just can't say enough about the guy.
James Paul.
That was a terrific double takeout, and now Kevin's trying to hit this one on the nose. He talked about trying to run both the guards, but they feel that they can control that 4-foot area, and that's really important, of course, if they just nose this one.
Shot.
Just another thing, too, I listened to, and I really enjoyed the interview you had with Dave Hodge on the Inside Sport. It was really a terrific interview, I thought, and your comments about sponsorship and that, and the fact that you are going to be meeting with the Canadian Curling Association, I think, after the season's over?
Right after the World's, Ray, and I think the CCA is very concerned about the situation, and I don't know what will come out of it, but I know it'll be for the betterment of the curlers, and I'm sure any type of sponsorship is warranted in our game, and I think it'll work out really well in the long run.
And I think, the CCA really is the proof in the pudding is right here with the three-guard rock rule that they're listening to the curlers themselves. And I really applaud them for that. I mean, they're not just making the decisions in the boardrooms. They're going out and talking to the curlers. And I think you're absolutely right that smaller sponsorships, sub-sponsorships, whatever you want to call them, are required. I mean, as you said in that, in the interview with Dave, is that I mean, Labatt's are just wonderful. Where would curling be without Labatt's?
Absolutely.
Or Scott.
Or Seagrams, and it's most important to run events like this. It takes a heck of a pile of money and a lot of people, volunteers. I think we had 1,000 volunteers at the Red Deer Briar, and these things cannot be done with a sponsorship at the highest level.
The Walchuk second, Trevor McGregor, as we play in this third end. Martin leading Walchuk 2-0. Interesting, put the brush down in the middle of the 8-foot, and does he expect to get behind here, Russ? Is that going to move that much?
Yeah, that's the beautiful part about Shorty's ice. In Red Deer, for example, this shot would be unmakeable, but a guard 2-3 feet short of the rings, you can fully bury it if you can get the right line.
Okay.
I think the hard part with a shot like that is when the guard is that tight, there is 4 feet of movement. You can wreck on the guard pretty easy.
Voice or not, Russ will be on the ice for the second semifinal of the Seagram's VO Cup, and he'll play Ed Wernick. 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain from here at the Calgary Curling Club. Oh, what a battle. Howard and Wernick only played once this year, I think, right? Was that at St. Thomas at the Tank?
Yeah, we played Eddie yesterday, too. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but
prior to here?
We're 4-0 against Eddie, and that's very scary because, you know, you're not going to keep winning against a team like that.
No, he's had a great year, too.
Oh, they curve really good.
Clean. Hurry. Room.
The interesting spot on the ice here is at mid-8 foot. Right now, as Ray had mentioned, those outside lines are causing them a little bit of trouble, and it's not really bending that hard in this area. You have to wait very long for it to come over. They're starting to move now.
Hard! Come on,
Little inside roll.
Come on, get it out of there!
Dragging up the back. Looks like it'll just bite. We'll thank you very much for joining us, and you can rest the voice. And we look forward to seeing you tonight against Eddie.
Right on, thank you.
Thanks, Russ.
Hey? Yep.
Randy Furby.
Yep.
Trying to tap that stone out of the 4-foot area. This is where it starts to move.
Come on, right up.
It really is weight sensitive, Linda. Just cut your weight a little bit. You do get the action. That's what Russ was talking about. And that.
Okay.
He pushed that rock in the rings, however, so it is second shot, I believe.
It's either that or this. Go center on. All right. Didn't hold its own.
Yeah, this is a nice situation for Kevin Martin. They're sitting 2. If you went to guard that rock and you weren't second shot, you'd be worried about it. But now sitting 2, looking for the tight center guard, protecting that shot in the 4-foot. And the other thing about this is, if the ice isn't moving in this spot, it's very difficult to get at that one at the front of the button if this guard is placed well. They'll have to probably take a run at the guard as well.
Line's good. Line's good. Clean it. Clean. Nice. Line's nice. Good wall. Okay. Hurry then. Hard. Just clean. Hurry. Yep. Hey, just clean, just clean.
Now you'll see how much it moves in this area here. That's why they don't want to keep sweeping it or it'll over curl.
That's a really nice shot, Kev.
But it's not till there that it moves.
Perfect guard.
Good shot. Thanks.
Can't see much.
Pretty tight.
Let's get it off.
You
Same
sure
weight?
can.
A little less.
88 and 89 were the Briars for Randy Furby with Pat Ryan. And, of course, they went on to win the world in 89 as well.
No. Room. Oh, no.
This is this spot, Linda?
Yeah, it hangs on that line. Now look at it come now.
Good.
It's almost like it's coming off a hill, but they had to wait on it. Will it have enough weight to push it back?
Really
They had to wait so long, Ray.
That really finished nicely, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it's starting to move a little bit more as you just get in. As the pebble maybe breaks down a bit and it gets a little flattened out in that area. That's the slide path that you're going into there. So
You can get that through there.
this is now a very difficult shot to remove.
A little short. It's not a big deal. Okay.
So you're going to play the guard. Martin is the shot rock. And too difficult to get that red rock out of there, so it's the guard he's throwing up.
Walchuk with hammer here in the 3rd and trailing 2-0.
Pretty tight hole.
You think there's a hole on the other side, Linda?
It looks like it's close to get through to that back yellow one that is shot rock. That's what Kevin Martin was lining up as he slid back towards the hack area.
The first stone for Kevin Martin here in the 3rd.
Hurry. Hurry. Line's good. Yep. A little tight.
Hurry. Hurry.
Hard.
Hurry.
Hard. Come on.
Hurry.
Quick. How much?
Hurry.
Hard.
Looking for the little
Come
kiss.
on, you guys.
That would Jesus. They made the hole a little smaller if there was one.
Oh, there's no hole there now.
There's
Took the hole away.
Yeah. You got two things.
You can take a chance right now if that yellow one, I think, might be the shot.
Off this one?
Yeah.
Is that a double?
Sure. You've made those before.
You're sitting pretty good.
Oh, yeah, we're looking real good.
If not, well, what are we going to do?
Oh, we got the other red one, too, on the other side.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's what he's talking about right
and
here.
Then you might have this picture here.
The other thing you could do, though, is you could run this one back and then always leave that one for your next shot. You could drive that one back that way.
Reasonably thin.
Pretty big gamble, but...
That's all we got, though, really.
Huh? Well...
You could run the... They could... Talking about
they'll get rid of that.
No. We can play this now.
Play the...
I don't like that. You kill our own, and we could be in a lot of heat. We'd be in a lot of trouble. You kill your own.
Or like just through, sort of. Even if we knock it into the house somehow. Well, what do you think?
Well,
if we move it off there, at least I play a guard, and I still have that with my last one.
Yeah, that's right. That's
true.
If I get rid of it now.
He's going to throw a guard in the house, though. He'll come right in here.
Well, they may set up a double.
Oh, good.
Sure.
Okay.
Start bumping that.
What kind of weight you going to throw?
How about just through?
I would like to move him up. Okay, half weight.
Oh, but if we don't hit it square enough, then we might lose the guard there.
This is what I mentioned to you. Play this one now.
We'll play board or something.
Back onto that one. Because, and if you don't make it, it opens up. He'll have to guard again. I'll just clear it. He'd have to throw the guard up again. And then you'd always have this one down here, hitting this one here and coming across with your last stone, if you wished. I would play this one here, Linda, first.
It was an interesting discussion, I agree with you, and it was interesting to listen about the weight. They were talking about playing it quietly in case they mishit it and somehow jammed it on their own rock at the front of the 4-foot. But then they're saying, but we've got to make sure that we get that one out of there or roll off if we don't make this perfectly, and thus you have to throw a little more weight than that. So I think they ended up with a hack to board weight type shot.
No. Never. No!
It's just drifting.
Yeah, right down.
No.
Ooh. Well, the sad part about that is that the shot rock is still covered now. You get to it with a quiet outturn.
You see all of that? I'd hate to rack and give him an easy deuce.
What do you mean easy deuce? I suppose.
Well, I could actually get it a little thin.
This is what they're talking about. This shot is available.
In here, too.
So you're going to have
Don't
to
mind that.
come in this place. You heard Kevin Martin say, well, gee,
Mind you, that's a fairly big hole.
I don't want to rack on that one and give him an easy deuce. But it is a pretty big hole, so I think...
The problem is you roll too far, we give him an easy one, eh?
He's talking about hitting the red one and trying to roll a little bit in front of his own.
He's throwing the raise
The downside.
Yeah. He's got a couple options. He's got that.
We should probably get rid of this thing, eh? Make him... Well, he's a pretty good setup right now. You can take it to here, takes away this one.
Well, then he's playing this.
Take it right to here, and it makes life real interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
This is the one Linda was talking about. Well, we're talking about getting that out of there, but he says, boy, it's a pretty good setup. So let's get it right in here if we can. Right in.
The reason they were talking about not playing the guard is, as Rach illustrated before, there's still the double takeout off the side yellows, and they don't want to leave that one there for the 2. So they're trying to bring this yellow one in the hopes that if there was a great shot made, maybe the opposition would only get 1.
Buried.
Right on. But you could see Kevin say, this is a good setup. We can, you know, this is a chance for us to steal a point and really put a stranglehold on this game. So.
Final stone of this third end for Kevin Martin. Walchuk does have last rock, and he's in trouble.
Curl. Off. It's got a curl. Hey, look, nice. Hurry. Hard. 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 Hard!
Well,
I don't want to move that
Whoa.
one.
Don't open that up.
Just what they talked about.
Exactly what they talked about.
Just let her pick, boys.
pick.
Jeez.
It caught something. That's what they mean by pick.
That's a good needle.
Well, if I were you, I would just throw a normal hit at the thing. Right?
As long as it doesn't stay in that center line.
Well,
should come off it. See?
You just throw a normal hit?
Yeah. Normal hit. Down through this hole. Right here. Looks easy, doesn't it, Linda? I got through the hole with my line.
I didn't have to play either turn.
Really?
Well, when this comes off the center line, it's really going to go.
Yeah, they're worried about the turn,
wait,
not
it
the
shouldn't go too
shot.
far.
They know the shot they want to play. But that in turn, the one from outside towards center, falls or goes very straight. This one, they're afraid, is going to curl hard off the center line towards the outside.
Okay.
Randy Furby put the out turn down. I thought they would play the in turn at this, right on the edge of the rock, and just throw it straight down with solid weight. You're right, it comes off the center line a little bit. You're going away from the forefoot as well.
The final stone of this third end, and the stones opened up now for Don Walchuk to get his deuce possibly and tie it. Trying to hold it now. Don't roll it too far.
Roll it too far. That was the problem with that turn, Linda. You were right.
They couldn't hold a shooter for their deuce, and so Walchuk will have to settle for one here in this third end of play. It's the opening semifinal. The 1994 Seagram's VO Cup. Martin leads 2-1 here in Calgary.
The Mighty Ducks present the 3 rules of hockey. Never underestimate your opponent. Never take your eye off the puck. And always consider entering Disney's D2, the Mighty Ducks contest. You could win an official NHLPA jacket, or a $600 Roots gift certificate, or an NHLPA Roots sporting goods jacket, or the grand prize, a complete set of pro-style hockey equipment, courtesy of Bauer and Cooper. To enter, send in your name, address, and telephone number today. All entries must be postmarked by April 2nd.
Introducing the evolution of the copper top.
Well, I'm walking, yes indeed, I'm talking about you and me. I'm hoping that you'll come back to me, yeah.
New Duracell, the longest lasting battery we've ever made.
Oh, I'm walking.
See you later. Hey, Charlie, aren't you working dispatch tonight?
Yeah, Joe, but I got one more pickup to make first.
Well, don't be late.
Come on, it's my life.
Hey, where to, buddy?
How about McDonald's, Dad?
Yeah, get in. Sometimes the extra value of an extra value meal
You sure you gotta work tonight?
is the time it gives you together.
Sure you want to go to college?
What you want is what
Yeah.
you get.
Yeah.
At McDonald's tonight.
Hey, it takes a lot of work to put a game on the air.
Today on Fitness and Nutrition, we're talking to nutritionist Karina Abs about fluid replacement. Be tough, be strong. Don't back down from anybody.
Watch where the forechecker holds his stick. Fake to a stick side and go the other way.
What have I just done?
Don Walchuk with an opportunity to score 2, but you questioned the turn, and the question was right.
Well, we saw it with the draw, and I'm not sure the draw before this picked up something, because I think we're looking at ice that's really moving in this direction, and they couldn't hold it to get there too. At least they got rid of the shot rock. But a bit of a chance there for Don Walchuk when Kevin Martin made a mistake and just couldn't capitalize. But to me, Ray, I think you illustrated it so well at the beginning. Those outside lines are a little high, and then when it comes off in the middle area, it's almost like it's a saucer shape, and it's really curling away from center in that area.
I guess in fairness to maybe to Randy Furby and Don Walchuk, there has not been a lot of interns thrown right down that path.
No, there hasn't.
It
was a tough choice.
May have had to guess a little bit.
Yeah, and he thought with the up weight that he could hold it, and it just wouldn't hold.
Oh, boy, Marty.
There's the good shot now. That rock sitting in front of the rings cannot be removed from play. It can be touched over, it can be pushed back, but it cannot be taken out of play. That's the new rule that we're playing the game by, and it's what's made it so interesting here this week, and the Brier and the Scott Turner Hearts. When we get to the World Championships, however, we'll see a little different rule. And then
Line's nice.
One more guard in play.
One more guard in play.
Line's nice, guys.
Vic confused us all because he figures that's the 3-rock rule and this is the 2-rock rule, but we won't confuse everybody at home with that explanation. But you're right, an extra stone at the world level can be protected if it's out in that area in front of the house, whereas here, the 2 stones are protected. After the 3rd one is played, it can be removed.
No explanation required to explain that last shot. A perfect come around.
And the added importance, of course, on leads now and their shot-making ability.
I might mention, though, under the 4-rock rule, the rule that Vic calls the 3-rock rule. No, I won't start that up again. The 4-rock rule. You can remove your own stones.
And that's what makes this shot interesting. If they went after that back stone, the yellow one in the rings with a little extra weight, and happen to take off their own guard, in Canada that is not permitted, and the rock comes back into the front area. At the world level, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want with your own stones. Now they can move this one around. They're going to tap it up, and that is permitted.
Okay. What? See enough to do that?
I don't like it.
Don't like it?
I'm going open side.
Open side?
Yeah.
Fine with me.
Make that thing
What was Martin's thought there about initially going up top again?
Can't quite see all of it.
Another guard, and
yeah.
you normally don't like guarding when you have the hammer.
I think he was actually thinking of hitting that guard with Don's shot. And they were worried Don calling back, and he's curled a long time and also a long time with Kevin, and he's saying, no, I don't like trying to run that front one because I could jam it.
But they were going to hit the...
That's what it sounded like to me, because he called out, how much can you see of this red one? And the danger of the red one being that it can be raised in later. But a good chance here for Martin to put a second one in the rings. And they want to bring it back so there's no hit and roll.
Come on, right up, right up, right up, right to the tee, come on, right up.
Good sleep.
I know him.
Gotta hit this. Oh, I don't have to.
Normal.
Trevor McGregor works as a district manager for the Gen group of companies that runs around 25 restaurants, Little Caesars included in the Alberta, BC provinces.
That's what I... No.
Normal hit.
Hit and roll.
This isn't bad either. It's normal.
The roll to the back of the button is possible here.
James Paul.
Yep. Hard. Wow. Oh, wait. Wow. Off. Off.
Okay.
Well, and now allows your opposition to...
Oh, sure.
There's the rolls.
So, yeah, we just... The dirt rock's not even in the 4-foot.
House or normal?
House.
They're finding it hard to get this to move enough, so they're pulling down the weight a little bit on this.
Do you like Trevor's style? You should. He's a Curl Canada instructor. Look at the roll. Look at this.
I like his results even better.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's the way they charted out in the Curl Canada book.
And they had to wait on it quite a while. You could see them get on later with the sweeping a little bit. But they had to wait for it to make its move, and what a beautiful roll.
It all started with that rock that was put on the outside of the rings.
Hurry. Real hard.
Which they're now trying to run off.
Hurry. Hard. Oh.
That's a great shot.
Now looking back at And Donnie Bartlett's decision, you know, and Kevin's as well, to play to the was the thought wrong, or did it end up in the wrong spot?
It's just when you play to the open side like that, you saw what happened. They exchanged 3 stones. It worked itself up the rings a little bit. Then the perfect roll. I mean, that's when you go to the open side, unless you've maybe got it way back into the back of the 12-foot or something. But that was the open rock that set that up. They didn't like the percentage of running off the rock. I thought at first, as I mentioned, I thought they were going to maybe just freeze to the face of it and kind of guard it, but Lynn was right. They were talking about hitting it, but they felt it was too dangerous. You heard Don Bartlett say that, but now this is a good opportunity to try and...
Remember now, Martin does have last rock, and Walchuk in position here.
Quiet weight hit and roll into the house?
To steal.
Not really. No, it's quite a ways out for that. Keep it firm.
Straight back?
Yeah. Might be able to get rid of everything.
Looking for the straight back. This, onto this, onto this.
Kind of weight? Feel?
You bet.
Sort of a tic-tac-toe shot. Kevin Park.
Right up, come on.
Tic-tac.
No toe.
Now, although they removed their own stone, that's not a bad shot because the yellow one was protecting shot stone belonging to Don Walchuk. So they got a bit of a roll off the front and moved off the other stone, and Walchuk has to be very careful that this guard's in position.
Now, where does he want this? Tight or up front?
Up front.
Yeah, he doesn't want it in the rings. By slipping into the rings here, Vic, you allow your opposition to not only make the doubles a little closer. If they do get the hit and roll behind one of the corners, it sets up a potential second point. You like this rock just tight, but not in.
Yeah, this is too deep.
Yeah.
Want to go with quieter weight? Make sure we keep the shooter?
No, same weight.
Same weight.
This one's the same weight.
Want to go in turn or out turn, Kev?
Out turn.
Okay.
Well, they were a great combination, these two Kevins, and I can't see any reason why they wouldn't be in the future as well. Sure, they're a little feisty, both of them, but that sometimes makes, when you have a winning combination, it's hard to break it. There's the double. Yes, sir.
Got it, and the shooter will hang around, and as you say now, it's set up for possibly the second point.
Well, rolled into the open, so Don Walchuk can hit it, and he hopefully can maybe get the roll behind the corner himself. He must stick, though, Linda, otherwise he allows Kevin Martin with his first stone to draw behind one of the corners.
This was a lovely shot. They kept the weight up to make sure that they got the 2 stones to spill. That meant the shooter rolled a little further. But great angles. These teams all know the angles so well.
Skip stones.
It's imperative now with this rule that with so many rocks in play that you... And actually, that's a good thing for young curlers to do, is to go on the ice and set up different angles and freeze rocks together and watch how they come off. And
Hard! Grip! Hard! Wow.
And by. That movement surprised Walchuk?
Well, I mean, he just was throwing it inside. We're trying to hear what he has to say.
I don't think he's very happy with the way he threw it.
That's not bad.
You're usually pretty silent when you're not happy with...
Let's go here. We just don't want to set up a retard double.
Well, these two teams met in the A-side qualifying section, and Martin won that game 7-3 over Walchuk. Martin taking the easier route here. He won 4 straight games to qualify. Then he beat Vic Peters. That was the A-side qualifier. And then he,
are we up to 15 yet?
in the quarters, beat Peter Lindholm to get into the semis.
little light, guys. Come on.
Go hard.
Okay, careful.
T-liner better.
Yeah, come on. Okay, careful, careful, careful. Careful, pull back 8. Pull back 8. Yep.
Easy.
Yep.
Too far.
Okay, well. Oh.
That's good.
Boy.
Good shot.
Full back 8. That's where they wanted it. That's where they got it.
Why would you not have left that a little higher, Ray?
Well, by putting it back here, Vic, you know, it's behind the tee line, and if they roll it, you know, behind the corner, you're still going to be able to come down to it. If you're up high, then and you leave it there, and they get the roll, then their shot rock in front of the tee line. Also, they didn't want to set up any double.
Hey.
No, really, they've forced on Walchuk to make a very difficult hit and roll to try and get out of this end.
If he gets the perfect roll, you can draw down, pick up your single.
Now. Clean. Wow. Off. Off. Off.
Hit for a deuce. And a 4-1 lead.
A little less, Kev. What do you think? You think it's going to come here at all? Quite a little, eh?
A little bit.
Kevin's Curling Supplies. Final stone for the skip. Kevin Martin trying to
put it back a little.
Pick up his deuce here in number 4 and a 4-1 lead.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Had to be careful with that, Linda. You're going to say, just put it back.
Kevin Martin will pick up his 2 here in the 4th. Martin looking to move into the final and guarantee himself a spot for the $40,000 first prize, which is up for grabs here. The Seagram's VO Cup for the Calgary Curling Club, and it's only right here on TSN.
Presenting the awesome Yardman lawn tractor with an automatic transmission, 18 horsepower industrial engine. It bags, mulches, and discharges, all for the price of much tamer tractors. Yardman mowers and riders. Call for the dealer nearest you.
What Eat More gives is dark, chewy toffee loaded with peanuts. Real chewy and not too sweet tasting. So what Eat More takes is time. It's a real long chew. Eat More.
Pepsi Max.
It's new. All the taste of regular cola and 1/3 the calories.
Yeah, sure.
Tastes good, that's all I know.
Gull la beau.
Can't you just enjoy it without the analysis, Sigmund?
What do you think stops some crazy bigwig at Pepsi from just printing up a bunch of false labels?
Jail.
Oh, brother, you are so naive.
New Pepsi Max.
Could you get him a fork?
All the taste, 1/3 the calories.
To be one of the great ones, you need discipline and desire. And most of all, you need a voice deep inside you, pushing you on.
Hey, baby, it's showtime. It's rock and roll time. Drive the lane, baby. Gypsy Dudes, Dr. Real. Hey, be a Skywalker. Slam Jam Bam. Mr. Sensational, a real PG here. And Orbix at work. You're going to make...
The new Grand Prix season begins with the Brazilian Grand Prix Sunday morning, March 27th, live at 10:50 a.m. Eastern Time. Ayrton Senna, provisional pole. Michael Schumacher, the German driver in the Benetton, on the front row. The Brazilian Grand Prix, 10 a.m., 10:50 a.m. Sunday morning, live from Sao Paulo.
Well, you're now going to see Kevin Martin try all the ways to defend a lead early in the game. When there's the free guard zone rule in play, he's going to bring this one into the rings, and he's going to hope that when Don Walchuk puts up some guards, that he can defend that rock in the 4-foot area and eventually get off the guards that may cause him some problems.
Come on, get hard, hard. We gotta go hard. Come on.
What you do not want
Right
to
up.
be is
Come on,
short.
it's gonna be fully in. Come on. Right up, guys. Come on, it's gonna be fully in. Come on. Right
He's
up.
talking about fully in because if you leave a biter and they hit it on the nose, then you cannot remove their rock because it would be outside the rings. So that's why they want to pull it either all the way in, or if they're going to try and be aggressive, leave it out entirely.
Marcel Rock. And that was one of the things somebody in the newsroom was asking me about, and we talked about at the Briar, is that with the free guard zone now, you can actually bring out the stick to measure if a stone is in the rings or not because of the free guard zone.
That's right. In any other case, you cannot measure during an end. You have to wait until the end is completed to test for biters, but in that case, you can. So there we were mentioning when the first stone of the end comes in front, it cannot be removed from play, neither can the second. When the third one is finished, any of those three can be removed from play. And of course, at any time, those stones may be tapped forward, sideways, but you can't get them to hit the sideboards or get pushed across the back line, or the penalty is the stone comes back and the shooter comes off.
Come on. Don Bartlett.
Right up. All the way.
Need it.
Hurry.
Hurry, come on. Come on, bring it by.
That's where it really curls.
They're starting to finish about 1.5 feet in the last 3 feet. 4 feet.
Freeze one in there.
Freeze it in the pocket, he says.
What do you want to do? Let's freeze one right in there. Okay.
He talked about going around the corner. No, he said, let's not do that. Let's go this way and freeze it right in there.
The third-year education student at the University of Alberta in Edmonton, Marcel Rock.
Let's watch the line now. This will get a good indication when it starts to die. Watch how it starts to curl. It's coming across now. Has he got enough weight?
No.
Pretty good shot. Yes, sir. Lovely shot. You see how much it curled in about 2 feet?
It really comes off that center line. Here's a good view of how it's positioned in front of that far yellow one. The stone is third shot, and you may wonder why that's a good one, though they're going to have to be very careful that that red one can't get raised back and cause some problems for Kevin Martin.
And you mentioned earlier, too, in this end, that the shot that they're worried about is the front rock. Oh, good.
What a lovely shot.
No, that's big stuff.
That's right. They went right over to take off that corner guard, the one that's really the dangerous stone, and they got the big break and spilled the red one out of the rings and really got rid of all the dangerous stones.
When this happens to you in a curling game, you'll know that they ran the right one off, but look at what happens. They get the third shot rock out, the other red rock out of there, and move the back ones out of play as well. That's when you know that that's the day you shouldn't be going to Vegas.
That's okay. No, won't quite be there.
No. Short. Short.
Now, the reason they put that red stone there and not on the corners is they're hoping to cause Kevin Martin problems when he tries to run this off. They know he's not going to ignore these guards because he has a 3-point lead. So now they just might try and make it a little more difficult to get rid of that rock.
James Paul, who won the Alberta Junior Championship in 1989.
What's that called, Vic, that shot there?
Appeal.
Pick and peel,
Well,
isn't it? Wasn't that the P&P shot?
That's right.
Victor.
Longer. Right. You know, no children. I don't know about PP. Trevor McGregor.
Wasn't that our word of the season?
Yeah, the pick and peel.
Oh.
Might almost want Linda freeze to the face of this.
Well, you can see the weight that Kevin Martin's team throws at these rocks. And
Doesn't matter.
It's really hard to get something going. Even a freeze has to be absolutely perfect. And, of course, the perfect freeze is...
Most difficult shot in curling.
Very good.
Next to the P&P.
So they keep trying to put this in a position that might just get that rock jammed back, even though there is some separation. But look at the weight they throw. They just blast these out of there.
And the rotation. Look at the rotation on the handle.
Now, there is enough movement that it can actually draw around that yellow stone in the rings. I'm not sure if he's going to get to that stage here.
I think he'll try that sooner or later, Linda. And there's enough finish with the stone.
Yep.
With the other turn, there's the come around. Now you know that Martin, as Linda suggests, is going to be hitting everything, so you're just trying to make their takeouts more difficult. And by getting this, even if it's not shot rock, and it goes back to the back of the 12-foot, but gets buried behind the front rock, you force Martin to make a decision and to play a difficult come-around shot. Here they come. Here it comes now.
Room.
Right back as far as it.
Yep. Come on. Right back. Come on. Right back.
See, even if you take it way back and get it fully covered, because they can still see half of it or a corner of it.
Blocker on. Okay.
And now at least you're getting the opponent to throw that quiet weight.
Yeah. Your choice.
They either have to go for the run back.
I can see over half of it. Can you? Just pump it through.
Okay, they're going to have to wait a little bit more now and try and move it, but you've got them playing a little bit less weight. And you never know what'll happen when they're trying to make these taps.
Sure we get it.
Especially with ice that curls like this now. It's very weight sensitive. This is when reading ice becomes a major part of the game.
Lean. Row. Hurry. Hard.
Lots of rotation on the handle.
Hurry. Hard. Real hard. Easy. Yep. Oh, yep. Oh, Okay, roll it, Donnie, your way. That's okay.
Great shot.
Lovely shot.
Interesting delivery, the way his stone comes out of his fingers.
He sort of pulls the fingers off the back of the handle, which is a little bit different than some other people apply the turn, but he puts lots of rotation, and we talk about that. If the ice is frosty, for example, you need that rotation on the stone or you will lose a lot of handles.
Really nice shot. Now they're going to go with this turn because if you can get this stone half behind the center guard now, then it becomes difficult for Kevin Martin to remove it. Look at this one go, Linda.
I don't know if there's a chance to get around this way. It's almost like a hill. It's sloping to our left, and the rock just slides off the hill towards that center line. He had lovely weight, but he just couldn't get around that rock in the house.
Go out a little bit further.
Not running like it was before then. Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it isn't bad. Now he'll come into it.
We'll roll to it. Well, he's coming around out turn anyway. Sure.
That's our best bet. Down normal there?
Yeah.
James is peely shoot back it, curl a little bit. This will probably come. Even if I take that one out from top 8, it doesn't work.
Okay.
Want to come across the top of ours, they push it up into the 4-foot. No, he'll have that in.
They want to hit this one here, and you heard him say, remove it, of course, get that out of there, but come across the top and hit this. And he said, even if this one goes, I don't care. Get it out of play. But maybe we could just tap it up a bit.
Clean. Yep. Yes.
Kevin Martin, his first stone, leading 4-1 as we play the fifth end.
Wants to come across, hit the top of the yellow one if he can. There's the hit. Push it back.
Right out of there, Donnie.
That's precise curling, isn't it? Now there's nothing to come around, and they have to try and generate the point, they have to try to play the freeze, and that can put them...
There's no reason to get out of this game too early here. Even though we're in trouble, we...
Puts Kevin Martin in a position to be able to throw his big weight again.
The double? Or just hit and roll here?
Hit and roll. They'll try and... Don will try and get a blank out of this now.
Yeah, they were saying, let's not worry. We're early in this game. They know they're in trouble. They're down 3 points to these two fellows. But they don't want to get crazy with this because they're having trouble getting these freezes in, finding the range with these draws. So they're just going to try and get a nice hit and roll here. If things don't work with the hit and roll, then maybe they'll have a chance to blank.
Now, the first stone for Don Walchuk here in 5, and in some trouble, trailing 4-1. Yep. But he does have last rock, and desperate for it.
Even if you're the worst in the world. Sure.
As you said earlier, Linda, this Kevin Martin, throughout the entire week, has been, as they say, just hot as a pistol. I mean, he just has not missed a shot.
No, at the top of their game at a time when many teams are finishing this season, and it's not easy to come into this event and be really at the peak performance that you want. But Kevin Martin's played just great all week.
They made it to the semifinal of the Alberta Tankard, losing in the semi to Ed Lukowicz.
Clean. Oh. Oh.
Shot. Good draw. It's up to you. Wait.
Well, you can't afford to hit and roll out. If you get the double, you're going to hit it on the nose and take a single.
Nice last time.
I guess you could play the double across the face of it and hope your shooter rolled all the way across, Linda. But...
No, he's just trying to hit for his one. They talked about hit or draw, and Randy Furby said the right thing. It's up to you, Skip, and Don decided to play the hit.
The final stone for Don Walchuk here in 5.
Yep. Hard! Quick! Come on!
The double I was talking about. That's the double I was talking about. Maybe the shooter will roll out.
Try to drag it all the way across.
Yeah.
No, won't have enough. It'll hang around in the 12, and so Walchuk will pick up 1 here in 5. We played 5, and it's Kevin Martin in control, leading 4-2. It's the opening semifinal of the Seagram's VO Cup.
You know, winning a Super Bowl was great, but now I'm winning with Interstate Batteries.
We won the ultimate NASCAR race. We won the Daytona 500.
Get an Interstate Battery wherever you see this sign. We check them before you buy them. For fresh power, guaranteed.
Now you dip them, now you don't.
McCain Golden Crisp, the best tasting fries to ever come out of your oven. Straight cut or cross tracks for crispy, tender potato perfection. Enjoy them alone or add your favorite topping.
Now you dip them, now you don't.
Cross tracks from McCain, lightly battered, crispy on the outside, tender and tasty on the inside.
Now you dip them, now you don't.
McCain Golden Crisp, snack time, meal time, anytime. The very best fries to ever come out of your oven.
Today's greatest goaltenders rely on their mask for protection. And on Greg Harrison, master artist and mask maker, the Protector Shaving System challenges you to win a limited edition 2/3 scale reproduction mask, numbered and signed by the goalie for whom it was designed. Call 1-800-263-6347. Answer the trivia question and qualify for this week's draw. You'll receive Protector coupons and a contest entry form to win the grand prize, a trip to this year's hockey playoff finals. Call now and win with Protector.
Loads Film is brought to you by Shimano, makers of the world's finest bicycle components.
You can find Shimano STX Special Edition components on these bikes. This Saturday's Lotto 649 guaranteed minimum jackpot is $15 million. Don't miss out.
To curlers and fans, he's known as Cool Hand Luke. Now, Ed Lukowich lends a guiding hand, looking to promote the game of curling worldwide. The World Curling Tour has curlers competing in cash fields round the world. Teams earning points for monies won, and the top point getters qualify for the VO Cup, the Players' Championship of the World Curling Tour.
Well, in the second year of the World Curling Tour and in the second year of the Seagram's VO Cup, it's going very well. I mean, we're very blessed to have a sponsor like Seagram's for the VO Cup, and it seems that all of the teams across the country are really starting to battle and try and win the points that qualifies them into the Seagram's VO Cup. And with the semifinals on TSN, you know, the teams love to compete, and boy, here this week in Calgary, we got a great field of players, and we got fantastic ice supplied by Lauren Rollick and Shorty Jenkins, so we got everything we need, and it's going to be a great championship.
32 teams from 5 countries have come to Calgary to compete for the $64,000 total prize money, the winner taking home $32,000.
We've got, you know, the very best teams from Canada, such as Ed Wernick, and world champions such as Wernick and Howard and Hackner. From the United States, we got Scott Baird, who's going to be playing in the Worlds. And from Scotland, we got David Smith, who's a former world champion from 1991. We've got Hugh Milliken from Australia, who won the Pacific Rim, and he's also going to be playing in the Worlds. And we got Peter Lindholm, who's a former world junior champion from Sweden. So we got great teams here, and with the kind of ice we've got, you're just going to see great shots.
For now, the event is held at the Calgary Curling Club, a great venue with a rich curling tradition. But Lukowich sees the event being much bigger in years to come, involving a much larger arena.
It's becoming a prestigious event, and players really want to win the VO Cup. And, you know, perhaps 10 years down the road, you know, it could be almost as big as the Brier. But I think the dream isn't quite complete yet. You know, I sort of envision the Seagram's VO Cup being played in an arena, you know, with 10,000 fans being packed just like the Brier is. And, you know, at this stage with 32 teams playing in the event, it's a little difficult to take into the arena, so we're playing it at the Calgary Curling Club, which is a beautiful facility. It has 4 areas of viewing through the entire rink, so it's just fantastic. But, you know, I envision in the future that perhaps we can play right to the final 8 in the Curling Club and then take the finals, the final day into the arena. So, you know, big things can happen with this event.
Big things in store for the Players' Championship of the World Curling Tour, the Seagram's VO Cup. We're in the first semifinal. Kevin Martin against Don Walchuk, and Martin, with last rock, scored 2. They blanked the second, and Walchuk, with hammer, picked up 1. He had a chance for 2, but couldn't hold the shooter. In the fourth, Martin picked up another pair, and then Walchuk couldn't roll the shooter out and forced to take 1. Picks up his single. So it's 4-2. Martin leading Walchuk. And a reminder to stay with us right after this opening semifinal for the TSN Turning Point. Brought to you by Interstate Batteries.
You know, winning a Super Bowl is great, but now I'm winning with Interstate Batteries.
We won the ultimate NASCAR race. We won the Daytona 500.
Get an Interstate battery wherever you see this sign. We check them before you buy them. For fresh power, guaranteed.
The sixth end just underway. Walchuk lead Marcel Rock with his first stone. Kevin Martin leading 4-2 will have the hammer here in the sixth.
Well, now it's a steal situation for the Walchuk foursome. 2 down without the hammer. Kevin Martin will go around the center guard.
Okay, Donnie, let's rattle a deuce.
There's the long-range plan, Linda.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment.
Let's get a deuce here. Kevin Park, of course, always in the game. Very, very, very much so.
Line's nice. Yep. Hard for line. Great. Wait's good. Hurry, come
Remember, if they have to, they can tick this guard off. They don't want to move it all the way out.
End up with 2 corners.
Okay, that'll work.
But in this position, I think Don Walchuk, you know, is going to take his chances with corners. Any rocks in front, he knows he can't run and hide. But Martin can't you know, peel everything, so he'll. Get as many rocks out in front as he possibly can.
It's close. Yeah. Wait's good.
Line's good. Line's good. Line's good.
Wait's not big, though.
Room.
Is it?
Room.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop.
This game just the start, because we'll have in our second semifinal, well, what a battle. The names are synonymous with great curling. Ed Wernick and Russ Howard, our second semifinal from the Seagram's VO Cup, and it'll come your way at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain, here on TSN.
Wait's good. Clean. Little hot.
I'm surprised that Don brought that right into the rings. I thought he would play it up in front.
Hard.
And it didn't bury for him, so a chance here for a hit and a roll.
Okay, Don. Nice shot. Freeze it up. Or just a little chap line on the inside, maybe.
Play the freeze.
Tight.
Trevor McGregor.
Clean. Line's good. Yep. Freeze. Line's good.
Come on.
Right up. Come on. Here he is. Right up. Right up. Right up. Right up.
Shot. Okay. Wait to hear.
Back.
They're going to play it quietly because there's the danger of jamming it back, and they'd like to get it to curl as much as they can at the end. Squeeze it out past their own.
Yeah, they like to want the roll, too, behind the corner a little bit if they can, which they'll get it.
Yep. Quiet. Oh.
With the quiet weight, the stone will finish. The shot should finish as it comes to the center line.
No, never. No. Never. No. Never. Nice
Pretty good shot.
Okay, good shot. Uh-oh.
Some good numbers put up midway through this first semifinal by the seconds, Paul and McGregor.
If we throw a guard and we'll have a guard anyway, at least, even if they make a shot. So, I don't mind this.
I think you have to guard here. You could play the hit and roll in front and end up
It's gonna move.
Where is it?
No, it's okay. No, it's dying.
Gotta move.
Come on.
Yep. Hard. Every, come on. Come on, right up, 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 right up. Oh, boy.
It's a pretty good-looking guard. Seems like the last few have ground in more than the others. They really slowed down at the end. But it's placed well in front of shot stone, and so Kevin Martin will try and run it off.
James Paul will try and do that.
Oh! Okay. Actually, he was grinding it a little bit there. I don't think so.
Right.
I think it's slowing down.
Kevin Martin leading 4-2 as we play the sixth. For Walchuk, third is Randy Furby.
Clean it. Yep. Clean. Yep. Hard.
That's good.
Right up. Come on. Come on. Hard. Hard, 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 hard.
Well, there's a hole, and you can see a little bit of it. So Kevin Martin's going to ask Kevin Park.
That ribbon off. Not the worst.
Oh yeah. Backline weight, just enough to push it through the rings. Is that any good?
Yeah, you can see
Not quite a half.
Yeah.
Just through the house.
Just through the house, down through this area here, hit this here. Try and get a little bit of a roll over here, pushing the rock out like so.
That guard was coming in quite nicely, and it just stopped short again. They're having a little bit trouble with them stopping, and that meant the line on it wasn't as good. Leaves this shot possible for Kevin Park.
Yep.
And the first stone.
Easy.
For the
Don't jump
there.
it.
Oh.
Line's good. Yeah.
Hard.
Easy.
Oh.
Roll.
Ah. Oh. Oh. No, we're going to nose it.
Roll the other way. Get it out of there. Hard.
Well, it does give Don Walchuk a chance now to get the roll. If you go back a shot, they did not want to sit here because now they can come down, hit this here, and roll in behind this here.
It's not very much ice.
Randy Furby.
Easy. Yep. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, off, off, off. Right off. Right off. Now. Ready? Yeah.
Well, they didn't remove the rock, but the main thing was to try and get the little flip in behind the guard, and they've done that.
And with little or no weight. I mean, there's not a lot of weight there to
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting, Vic, because if you remember going up the other way when we did the last stand, how the rocks were finishing so quickly. Those two rocks didn't finish at all.
No. We're not going to hit anything. We're just going to rub off it into here.
I think we better steal one.
What?
I think we better steal one.
It'll curl a lot. Okay. If you scratch the top again, it's not a big deal.
You don't like running that guard back?
No. No, I like it. Just play this. This kind of weight. You scratch the top, not a big deal.
You're looking at what, the
It'll
intern?
curl plenty. Like, we'll probably have trouble keeping it straight enough if we get by the guard.
I don't know.
Just back here. Almost the same weight, Kev. Same weight? Well, a little left. Just a hair left. Rub it into here.
With the intern, same weight, you heard him say, right through here. Push it back like so. Try and roll over in there.
They know it'll curl, and they know that if they want to hit a guard, they want to make sure they hit the one closest to center line, guarding the shot stone.
Hard, guys.
Gonna have to go real hard.
Easy.
Oh,
wow.
Stay close.
Wow.
It's got a little extra weight.
Oh, it's not finishing.
Just didn't finish. He's right. He threw it perfectly. It was the weight he wanted. It just didn't finish. He's right. Now, you get second shot in there.
Panic on the sweep.
Just tap his back here and come right here. Is that no good or what?
That's all right.
It's anywhere through the hole, really, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to crash the guard off.
No, you don't want to do that.
No.
I gave you about here.
It's tapped there for a bit.
Yeah. Come down like so. You can come off of that one, push that one into this area here, and roll the other one in behind. This guard up here.
The nice thing about this is there's lots of options. What he's trying to do is get the one buried and the one in for second shot.
What's the time like?
It's that old adage that sometimes your best guard is your second shot, and you can do both here, Linda. You heard their comment about
don't draw in there,
but not hitting the top of them.
Yeah.
Skip Stones here in this sixth. 4-2, Martin leading, and this is Don Walchuk.
Wow, whoa, 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 whoa. Clean it.
Looking for the little split. Looking for the split now. Don't want to set up a double.
Hurry! Come on!
Just got to touch it.
Hurry! Come on, hurry! Whoa, too far. Whoa, whoa.
And they wanted more separation, a little more weight to push the one back and roll not quite so far into the middle.
All this outside?
How about through the hole? Yeah, I guess you could do that.
I kind of like this.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Through the hole. Down like so. Hit this one here. And roll into this area here.
Now remember, when Kevin Park threw down, the redstone was more covered, more away from center line, so if they throw the same path, it'll work out just fine on this one.
It ran very straight. It didn't finish, so we'll see what happens with this one with a little extra weight.
Easy. Clean. Oh, yep. Oh. Whoa. Girl. Get off that one.
Okay.
It just seems to straighten up a little bit at the end because it didn't curl.
It's not bad.
Well, I mean, if you do this just right here,
almost
you
the
can throw
same
a cap,
shot.
and he's got to draw for one.
Right off here is good.
Off of anyone.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Off that top one there.
I don't know if we can do that, though. Just have to be a straight draw there almost again. Huh?
A straight draw, you're going to set him up for a double. And if you come back here, you set him up for a double by hitting this one. Throw the intern come around. Accomplish the same sort of thing. But then...
That's what they're talking about now. You heard Randy say the intern come around.
Well, the yellow one's around.
Well, that's just it.
Not
if
like
we
that.
come here.
Or can you want to come with the out turn?
Because he'll just hit the crotch, eh?
I think we got to make... I think if you can get a little roll off this and come over here.
No matter what you do,
Just
there's
roll
going
right
to be
over.
shots for Kevin Martin to come off his own and make a double off yours.
Just as long as you're behind this one here.
I think the best way to
He's not
try and
gonna
get
go double
some
off that one.
separation is to tap the yellow onto the red.
I think the bottom line here is get another rock in the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, this rock here could be driven back too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
we
what
got
we're talking
another one in
about
there, eh?
You gotta come in. As long as when we come off of this one, we don't leave it. What if we go back here so that he comes around and up for all three?
Well, but the thing, if I don't get enough separation, like, I think we'll probably just have the crotch double to get rid of them all.
Play this. Take this back ring and end up over here.
Yeah, I think you have to rearrange them a little bit. Even if you come in with the intern, there's going to be a
let's
shot
split
there
them up, eh?
off the yellow
We had
one.
lots of room there, eh? I see that good?
Oh, what do you mean a lot of room? Which way?
Well, we got by quite a bit, so, but I
Back
see it
ring
good.
weight.
What do we take? We had about there.
In here.
Just
Trying
a
to
little more
roll
weight
over
than
into here.
Just a touch more, yeah.
This will go here, and you get these rocks, this one here separated from this one here. Very big shot right here.
Well, Walchuk needs to get something going. Remember, he does not have last rock. He trails by 2 in a position here that he might be able to steal one. Martin with the hammer. Final stone for Don Walchuk.
You want to get this one in play.
Ow! Yep! Hey! Come on!
It's curling more than they want. So by the guardian.
Quick.
Even if you hit the red one and separate them, it would be fine. Just curled too much. And
Unbelievable.
hasn't been his day.
Sorry.
Well, you know, hit it right on the beam.
You haven't got anything else. Hole's pretty big, isn't it?
Stays really straight, eh?
I think the intern looks biggest, but...
You like the intern? I kind of like my out better than...
Okay. Your choice.
The in's probably... No. Let's go with the out turn.
That's interesting. The in-turn looks like it's the natural turn to come down and there's more room because you're going into it like that.
Yeah.
But you heard what Kevin say.
Get it through the hole, and if it stops...
My out turn, I like it better. It'll run straight down here, hit that right there. That's going to eliminate that stone there. And that could be a big end for Mr. Martin.
As long as I get by the red one, I don't think I can hit it too thin. It will have a tendency to float, I think.
Final stone for Kevin Martin and a chance to really put a lock on it here. Possibility of looking at 3, maybe 4.
No!
Oh, he just got by the...
And look at this.
And it backed up. Look at that. Did it back up to take points away?
It's like 2, eh?
Yeah, it did.
It almost sucked back up the shot.
My goodness. He was looking at 4, and he backed up off the jam, and it backed up to take away 2. My goodness. I don't think I've seen that before. He was looking at 4, and then the stone came back off the jam, and he got 2.
Well, he just got by the yellow guard. He said it would run straight, and look, they were taking a deep breath to make sure it got by.
At this point, it looks like he has 4. He hits the back 2 and then backs it up, and only gets 2.
That's wild.
Just the angle of the way those 2 red stones at the back of the house. Look at how it kicks off. The red one kicks off one, then the other red one, and that gives it the forward movement, I guess you call it, to go back into the rings.
Kevin Martin's got a little juice on his stone.
So Kevin Martin still picks up a pair, and he now leads at 6-2 over Don Walchuk after 6 ends of this opening semifinal of the 1994 Seagram's VO Cup.
Hey, this new Pepsi Max is really something, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it tastes of regular cola and a third of the calories.
I'll grab that for a second.
Yeah, sure. What are you doing? I want to see if they filled it up a third.
Can't you just enjoy the taste
It's
without...
the only way to explain this calorie thing.
You're not going to open it, are you?
Oh, don't worry. You see, the lower pressure created by the chilling will keep the expansionary forces of the carbon dioxide at bay.
Who's going to open it?
It's elementary.
New Pepsi Max.
Oh, jeez.
All the taste, 1/3 the calories.
Excuse me.
When hunger strikes, wolf down a Snickers, loaded with peanuts, caramel, nougat, and real milk chocolate. Snickers really satisfies. When your stomach growls, wolf one down.
Winning depends on how far you dare to go. Victory requires talent and skill, and a determination to push to the limit. Living on the Edge is brought to you by Edge Shaving Gel, because to win, you need the edge. Tahiti's Bora Bora Islands. World-class athletes harness the shattering power of the Pacific Ocean. Traveling at speeds up to 30 kilometers an hour, surfers ride the edge of mighty 10-foot waves. Razor-sharp coral reefs threaten from below. A runaway board can be deadly from above. Surfers must find a perfect balance as they master the rush of thunderous water and become one with the awesome might of nature. Living on the Edge has been brought to you by Edge Shaving Gel. Ultimate closeness, ultimate comfort. That's the Edge.
Don Walchuk and his final stone of that 6th end, Linda.
Just over curled. He looked like he threw it pretty well, and they got on it at this point to try and hold it straight. He wanted to hit a yellow rock and split his red one in one side of the forefoot and hold the shooter, and the shooter will just go out the back. They almost only good thing about it is that caused Kevin Martin a few problems on his later takeout attempt. That's what caused the red stone that was driven back to stay in the rings, and Kevin Martin only got 2, but at this stage he's up 4 points now. Kind of textbook curling for Kevin Martin. Take 2, give them 1, take 2, give them 1. It usually works out pretty well for your team when you do that.
Yeah. Still going good, guys. Still going good. Come on. Come on. Hard. Come on. It's getting heavier down. Come on. Yeah, that's middle spot now. Go side with it, man.
Okay. 2, 3. Wait. Guard is solid.
Marcel Rock.
It's not heavy. Gotta go.
That's not rattling.
Want to try? Top it up.
Under normal circumstances, or the system we played under for 180 years, you would be walking up and peeling that stone off the rings, but not this year. So always a little chance to get your deuce, Linda.
That's right, Walchuk's got the guard up. Kevin Martin's going to try and bring this tight to the rings, or bump theirs up a little bit, keep the rocks together, try and draw the play away from that guarded area.
Just leave it. Leave it all the way.
Look at it curl now, towards the center. It's going to split it towards the back.
Okay, Don.
Roll towards the middle.
All right.
He's going to rip the guard, yeah. He's going to...
Yes, he is.
It's a little more, I think.
The other word that we use this year a lot sort of comes into play, Vic. We'd say that Don Walchuk is in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, that's right. I think I used that a few times for sure. Don't know if I was hungry at the time or...
I think we stole that, didn't we?
Actually, a lot of it was related to food, Ray. The pick and peel. You mentioned shrimp and...
Yeah. Roger, maybe from Newfoundland, showed up at the seniors with a bag of fudge for me. Just what I needed. It was beautiful, but... But I swept off a few pounds, I want you guys
sure
to know.
you did.
James Paul.
Yep. Oh, off it. A little more.
Whoa, you're hot. Look at this.
Remember the other end? He made the takeout and took the one out in the house as well. Another great shot.
Now, here's a situation. Is this, Linda, you know, he's up 6-2, Martin. He's got 3 stones in. Can these stones eventually hurt him, possibly?
You don't want as many rocks in play, but definitely being in this position where they're in the house rather than the guards is not so bad. And as the end progresses now, you'll see Walchuk trying to come in and maybe freeze the stones, and Martin's team will be throwing the big weight, and they won't mind getting rid of their own stones that are now in the rings and keeping it very clear.
Get me tight.
But you're right, Vic. The more rocks in play now, as far as Don Walchuk's concerned, the better off he is. I think Kevin Martin should go directly from here to pick up a 649.
I think there's about $12 million available. Well, we're looking forward to this one, of course, always when you see these two names on the ice. 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 Mountain Time. Semifinal number 2, it's Howard against Wernick.
Clean. Come on, out of fire.
What to do, what to
Tap
do.
his back.
Bump.
Hey?
A bump.
Well, just to here. Okay.
Tap it back. Hope to get a jam. 2 points put you back in the game.
Definitely more.
Line's good. Room.
Where is it?
Comes across the center line.
Bumping it a
Should
bit.
move quite a bit now. There's 1 foot.
Yep.
There's 2 feet.
Okay.
A sitting second shot, it appears.
Feel? Feel weight.
Kevin Martin checking out all the angles here. They're going to throw that big weight. This is where it will curl a little bit for them.
Kevin Park.
He and his wife still have their restaurant, Kevin and Linda's. Doing very well, he says.
Good. Chuck, Kev.
Yeah, you're right. Even freezing doesn't do much when you throw that kind of weight.
No, they're just masters at it. We saw it in '91 and
Freeze. That's not the dandy.
You know, and these freezes are tough because they're playing that turn that keeps curling so hard, and they're getting a lot of finish, and so it's difficult to get the rock to stop at the right angle in front of the stone in the house.
Wow. Room. Room. Lot of room. Clean. Room. Room. Where's the weight?
it'll come over now.
Nothing cut. Okay.
Just a little strong.
In-turn peel.
In-turn peel.
Changing turns here, going with the straighter turn, the easier way to pick it across the face of the back rock.
Kevin Park. And his second stone here in the 7th. Kevin Martin leading 6-2. Looking to put himself into the final and possibly win the $40,000 first prize.
Huh? Right here? Yep.
This is the turn we know that the out turn, wide out turn, that will really, really move as it finishes. So they're trying to get behind the rock sitting in the full in the 8 foot with Randy Furby's.
A lot of room. Oh, line's good. Line's good.
Now this should come right off this line, or it was earlier anyway.
Looks heavy.
Just has to have the right
Clean
weight.
it. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Oh, it never came too fast. Boy, really.
Okay.
You think you're anticipating the sweeping, and even so, you just can't believe how much it curls.
Well, Donnie Walchuk thought he looked heavy.
He was a little.
He was a little strong.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not here, no.
You were saying, Linda, you had 80 young curlers out yesterday at the clinic?
Yeah, we had a great time. Vic and I and the Australian men's team that's here in Canada went over to the Winter Club and had 80 kids curling with beautiful little deliveries.
Rock and play anyway.
We had a very good time with them.
A couple of them forgot to let go of the rock, which was it was a good time. We had a really good time. Some
That's great.
barely bigger than the rocks.
That's terrific.
Stay close.
Clean.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, good.
That's good.
All right, they're just ganging up on Walchuk now. This opening semifinal of the Seagram's VO Cup here on TSN. You thought we forgot? No. More trivia for you, Linda Ray. Kevin Martin was the last skip to do this at the Briar. And what was it? Gee, all kinds of possibilities there.
The mind sort of wanders here,
I was
doesn't
going to
it?
say.
Well, I don't know. I'll think about that.
Yeah, we may be quiet for the next round trying to think of his answer. We're trying to freeze the other direction, coming to the rock at the side of the 4-foot.
Line's good. Well, room. Wayne, come on. No. Come on. Come on, right up.
Oh.
Right up.
Yep.
Lovely shot.
Oh, lovely shot is right.
Shorter to blaster out that
We
way.
don't have any time to think about it. Now you
Well, I'm going to take a guess anyway. I'm going to say that it was to blank 8 straight ends.
not bad idea, Linda.
I had no idea. I
All
really
right.
couldn't think of one.
Well, he played 12 ends in round 3. Finally beating Dan Bentley of Nova Scotia. 12 ends. That used to be the norm at one time. Ray, you probably...
Yes, I do recall the 12-end games, Vic.
That,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Well, it actually wasn't that long ago.
How
when you
long
think
ago
of
was
it.
it?
It was in the
77.
70s.
is that where they changed the rule?
Now look at the weight on this. They're trying to jam this one out of there. They know it's going to hit onto their own.
Got it.
That's a real pick and pill.
That's amazing.
That's a Pat Ryan special.
They knew they couldn't avoid touching their own behind it, but he drove that as much sideways as you possibly could.
So Walchuk with his final stone will draw against 4. And he needs a piece of the 4-foot. Four Purple Hearts, 4 appearances at a Brier for Don Walchuk. And every time out, he's been an all-star. Marcel Rock, Trevor McGregor, the front end, keeping it clean as Walchuk looks to keep his hopes alive here. And he'll put it right on the button for his single point. But Kevin Martin is still in control. He leads by 3. It's a long way back for Don Walchuk.
The Mighty Ducks present the 3 rules of hockey. Never underestimate your opponent. Never take your eye off the puck. And always consider entering Disney's D2, the Mighty Ducks contest. You could win an official NHLPA jacket, or a $600 Roots gift certificate, or an NHLPA Roots sporting goods jacket, or the grand prize, a complete set of pro-style hockey equipment, courtesy of Bauer and Cooper. To enter, send in your name, address, and telephone number today. All entries must be postmarked by April 2nd.
Excuse me.
When hunger strikes, wolf down a Snickers, loaded with peanuts, caramel, nougat, and real milk chocolate. Snickers really satisfies. When your stomach growls, wolf one down.
If you've ever had acid indigestion, what I'm about to show you is surprising. Think of this rose as your stomach. Watch what happens when I dip it in concentrated acid. Serious stuff. Now, watch how Pepto-Bismol coats this rose and works to protect it. Don't suffer with indigestion. Get the effective coating action of Pepto-Bismol. Serious medicine for your stomach.
To be one of the great ones, you need discipline and desire. And most of all, you need a voice deep inside you, pushing you on.
Hey, baby, it's showtime. It's rock and roll time. Climb the lane, baby. Dipsy doos, Dr. Real. Hey, be a Skywalker. Slam Jam there. Mr. Sensational, a real PT here. And Orbit's at work. You're going to make...
Well, this weekend, the spotlight is on the Seagram's VO Cup, our opening semifinal. Martin against Walchuk. And coming up tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain. It'll be Howard against Wernick, Russ against Ed. Semifinal 2. It's the Players' Championship of the World Curling Tour, the Seagram's VO Cup. As we get ready to start this 8th end of play, Kevin Martin will have last rock, leading 6-3.
No, don't matter. Got all the time in the world. Trust me. Yeah.
Marcel Rock. Again, another former Alberta junior champion. He won his provincial title in 1990. And as we're seeing now, they call it a trend, but young players
Gotta get this one tight, Don.
hooking up with more veteran skips and thirds
After this one.
and sort of paying their dues.
Well, I think it's a great way for young curlers to get the experience and to get to play against the top level teams. You know, no better example, of course, is Corner and Madaw, who won the Ontario Provincial Championship as skip in third, then went to play with Russ and Glenn. And I think, you know, one of these days, not too distant future, I'm sure you'll see them back playing the back end.
Well, in fact, while you were in Moose Jaw, as you remember when we were in Red Deer, that was one of the rumors going around that Wayne Madaw and Peter Corner might decide to go on their own.
Not while they're still in the skins game, I don't think.
Well, that's it. And Wayne Madaw this past week shot down the reports and the rumors, and he will stay with Russ Howard for at least another year.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's remember that they get along well, they play well together, and the nice thing about being in a team sport is you make your contribution. Every player on this team is vital to the success of the team. And with the free guard zone rule now, the leads role is so complex. It's a very exciting position to play.
Very much so.
And a good example here already. Marcel put up the guard. Don came down and made a nice split, opened up the house a little bit. There are rocks in play, though, so now Marcel's trying to come into the rings around the guard.
Quick! Okay, even don't take more.
Just nothing is working for Don Walchuk.
He's just having trouble reading the ice. He had trouble earlier on his own shots as well.
You have people throwing 98% at you and 100% at you.
Well, that's right, and you make a nice freeze the last end and they still be able to pick it out of the house. It's pretty tough.
Good shot, Don.
What? Oh, you can run that one, sure.
Trevor McGregor won a Alberta Collegiate Championship in 1991.
Stop.
He's only 24, but James Paul brings lots of experience to his second position. Last year, for the past couple of years, he was playing with Ken Hunka. And Hunka made it all the way to the final of the Alberta Tankard a year ago before losing to Greg Furster.
Well, he's made 2 doubles, a double peel. He's played just great today. Just when Walchuk thinks he gets something going, along comes James Paul to take it all away.
It's nice when you can go in, you can plug in somebody like James Paul. And, you know, even at the age of 24, you look at the resume and you go, boy, Tankard final, not bad.
Yeah, that's right.
Even them up? No. Huh? What? Even them up? No, even I can't scoop it that far.
Well, you were saying, Vic, Linda, that you saw, even though the people you had, the children, young people you had yesterday were very young, you still saw the makings of pretty solid deliveries and mechanics, and so they grow up with such solid mechanics that once they learn the head part of the game and the feel part of the game, they just become tremendous players, and we're seeing it all across our country. And today, for example, at the at the Canadian Junior Championship, Pepsi is on, and the mechanics, watching a little bit on television just before we went on the air, the mechanics were fantastic on those young players.
One of the things we were saying to the young people yesterday is everybody has their own style and does things a little bit differently. We see Pat Ryan and Don Bartlett with slightly different deliveries, tucking, towing, sliding forward slightly differently, but all of them come with the basics. They're throwing the rock towards the broom, they're keeping their shoulders square, all the little things that they do so well. And I tell you, those kids yesterday, they had those basics down. They were playing very well.
Well, here is a good indication. As you were pointing out yesterday, the norm, we might say, would be to tuck the brush handle underneath your armpit, but there's Randy Furby more comfortable with it over his shoulder.
Sure, and as long as it doesn't disturb the basics, coming forward squarely, good balance, allowing the feel of the rock to be there.
Well, we could... yeah.
The release of the stone is everything, and as you say, if you're squared up and you're coming out with body control, whether it be a 3-point balance or a 2-point balance, as long as you're square.
Intern peel for now?
Releasing it clean.
What do you mean, double peel?
No, intern.
Interesting. He's leading 6-3. He's got one biting the.
He's coming around that center one eventually here.
He's covered. Why is he thinking about this? Why would you?
He doesn't need any more points, Vic. He doesn't. Kevin Martin doesn't need any more points. He doesn't. Those rocks up in front.
That rock of ours in the house is acting as a pretty good center guard.
Sure.
Yeah,
there's your answer right there, yeah.
Yeah. Even though they get rid of this red one, you can't prevent everything because there will be still 2 guards in play. The one yellow one is in the ring, sure, but it's still something you can come around. But better there only be 1 guard that you have to deal with if you're Kevin Martin. So open it up as much as you can, see what Walchuk does, and then deal with it after.
Kevin Park and his first stone.
Good. Double peel's possible here.
One.
No.
Either I've got to make the draw, or Wally does. And this thing is, you can go by that by quite a bit, okay? Keep it on the side of the sideline. We're going in? Yeah.
Around the stone, just biting the top of the 12-foot at 12 o'clock. Randy Furby.
Lot of room, tons of room, lot of room. Come on, close, close. Right. Come on now. Yep. Come on. Real hard. Real hard.
Back as far as you can get it.
Right back.
Right back, right back, right back, right back, right back.
Boy, it really finishes, and that's fantastic. That's 4 feet of swing.
No doubt, eh?
Straight back? Straight back, yeah. I got one more, don't I?
Yeah, I'll roll right off.
Don't I have to throw one more?
You don't have to, Kevin. But you should.
Don't I have to throw one more?
Oh! Hey, K. Park, you want to shoot your last one?
Exactly.
Pretty anxious to get this game over, aren't they?
Yeah. Or maybe he didn't want to throw the last one this end.
Now, it must be those painkillers you're taking.
That's right. That's what we talked about before. Kevin Martin was in a dentist's chair till 1 in the morning with the root canal. So Kevin Park saying it's the painkillers.
Now remember, there's only the 1 guard in front of shot stone, and it belongs to Kevin Martin, so now he can run it back onto the rock behind it. Try and get rid of everything.
Hurry! Oh! Oh!
They're just not missing anything. That's fantastic curling. It's just unbelievable. Thanks.
Nice shot.
He really warped at the end.
skip stones to come here in 8th. And it's just sort of running out here on Don Walchuk.
That's a lot of ice. A little less. A little less. Right. Oh, no.
Well, Don Walchuk said, they talked about it really moving here, but he says, but mine won't. So it's a little different release. He has a little different release than Randy.
Yeah, I know when he tightens it up. Hurry! Oh, wow. Oh, Donald. Wow.
No, it's over curling, though.
He just didn't take enough ice.
Shots. Yeah, but some were hanging out and some were...
Well, as you said, Linda, that's maybe been his biggest problem today, just reading the ice.
Well, some days you've really got to believe in it. I know everybody's release is a bit different, and Don is having trouble with the different releases maybe and seeing the different spots of ice, but that spot will curl, and you have to get it in there. You can't have that happen because you have to apply some of the pressure back on the opponent.
Actually, you could bury a half on its back.
Pull and then just let it wash and throw a little more weight and let it. It's brutal.
Check the wash to see if the times are right. First stone for Kevin Martin here in 8th.
A lot of room here. Careful, careful.
Leading 6-3. And he does have the hammer as well.
Top 8. No, that's floating. That's not doing anything.
That one just sat there.
Oh.
A little extra weight, though, you know, Linda.
Wow. I don't know what we're going to do.
Not a lot,
that's
though.
fine, that's fine.
It just sat on that line. That's what we taught. Shorty Jenkins did say he was having a little trouble with the lines, with the ribbon.
Mind you, center guard.
It's the ribbon. It's not. They're not painted in. It's the ribbon was put in and underneath the ice surface, and sometimes they're a touch higher.
Might throw a little more.
Huh? What do you want to play then? Just through?
Play just through, because it's going to cut anyway. Quiet weight, we might not be able to hold it.
Okay.
Hope it moves.
Just touch more, Randy.
Quiet weight.
Just through. Huh? Yeah, I don't know.
If they freeze on the one corner there, is it going to go off by the top there? What's that? If you freeze on the corner and he blasts it, is it going to go over the top of that yellow one? Depends how good you make it. What? Depends how good you make it. Well, no, we have to move it or isn't it?
What
Might have to move it just a bit.
He's asking if I freeze it on this corner, like so,
play that
right
same,
there.
Play the shot
if
we
he
want.
hits it hard, will it go across past that one, or will it jam on that one? That was the question.
Oh, wow.
And you heard Randy's answer. Well, it depends on how well you make it.
Right, the front end, we're pointing out the freeze. What Don is thinking of playing is tapping and trying to roll a little bit behind the guard.
No.
He's just not sure of the ice.
Lot of room, lot of room. My, oh my God.
Here it comes now.
Whoa.
No.
No. Come on. Come on.
Oh, they left it too long.
Just left it a little long, yeah.
Yellowstone is shot rock.
Draw the 4 foot for 2.
Almost perfect.
Finishes off. Or one.
Final stone for Kevin Martin here in the 8th with last rock, leading 6-3 and a chance to pick up 2 more.
Line's out there. It's out in the heavier stuff. Easy. Just clean. Easy. It's sliding. Wow. It's sliding.
Is it ever sliding?
Oh.
Can't
Wow.
No, it's pretty nice.
And there's his 2 points.
Yeah, pretty nice weight control. Kevin really hasn't struggled with that at all during the week, and another indication there. Don Walchuk got pretty unlucky with his. It overcurled and just sat for second shot.
So Martin with the 2.
Home soon.
Now in control. You're right. Home soon. And he could go home with as much as $40,000. Martin looks like he's on his way to the final of the Seagram's VO Cup.
Yep. Definitely.
McCain has tasty pizza snack. They call them pizza pockets. McCain! Pizza pockets. The great pizza taste to keep you coming back. McCain! Pizza pockets. Pizza perfection in a crust that's baked, not fried. So there's no leaks, no mess. Just taste. All taste and nothing but McCain! Pizza pockets. No leaks, no mess. Just pizza perfection.
Something wild is happening to men's grooming. Now, the Gillette series of high-performance personal care products comes in an invigorating new scent. Wild Rain, the newest fragrance of the Gillette series. What Eat More gives is dark, chewy toffee loaded with peanuts. Real chewy and not too sweet tasting. So what Eat More takes is time. It's a real long chew. Eat More.
With the runner going. Drive here out into right center.
Catch the Expos take on the Mets Wednesday on TSN. Bring home the excitement of Major Junior Hockey with playoff action from the Memorial Cup. Catch the Stars of Tomorrow on TSN. Transportation courtesy Canadian Airlines, the official airline of the VO Cup. Ground transportation was made possible by Husky Oil and Renfrew Chrysler, your downtown Chrysler connection. Rock handles courtesy Curlex, the choice of VO Cup professionals.
The ninth end is underway. Kevin Martin with an 8-3 lead over Don Walchuk, and the Martin lead, Don Bartlett. Easiest stone he'll throw all day.
Yeah, you never have any trouble making those ones. Throwing the first one through. Now the guard, rock out front.
Well, it's going to fall off the table if you shoot that way.
Don't go that way, too. Okay.
There's one in guard there. Huh? Gotta be tight, curling lots. Stick to curling.
What they're trying to do with this, they cannot remove it completely from play or it will be coming back, so they're trying to just tick this rock over a little bit.
Board on board. Yep. Heater. Hurry. Hurry!
These are tough when it's really swingy. What a nice shot.
That's one of the toughest shots in the book to do, but you don't usually do it with that kind of weight. You usually do that,
pretty fair,
that shot with a hack weight, but they threw big weight at it. Wonderful shot. That kind of shot is very, very, can be very key in a game that's, you know, tied up or one down or something, you know. You don't make them very often.
Boy, Marty.
And now for Kevin Martin, it becomes a peel game.
You bet.
And you can hear the players focusing at this end saying, come on, we've got to concentrate, because sometimes you get a bit of a lead and these shots look so easy, but you've got to make them all. Make sure that you keep it open for your skip.
James Paul.
Hurry. Hard. Okay. Shot.
Trevor McGregor.
I don't think so. Huh? I don't know why they open up more ice. Go past this one at least. Good route.
Takes us back to the Briar in Hamilton.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that Jeff Stoughton put up?
That's right. 2-1 was the score of that game, I think.
Well, in this game, Don Walchuk has had a couple of chances, and he's just had problems with the ice, either over-curling, one hit where he was hitting for 2 over-curled, and then a chance maybe to steal later in the game. He was trying to tap a rock, and it over-curled.
In most cases, you can review your games after. You know, you'll find the chance that you had. You know.
It's Howard against Wernick in semifinal number 2 of the Seagram's VO Cup. All Ontario, perennial Ontario champions, both of them. 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain from here at the Calgary Curling Club.
Somewhere around there. Actually, we can get around there. If it's going to bury nice, just catch a corner, it's okay. Wow, well, right off. Right off.
Well, it missed the guard by about 1.5 feet, and it's still almost covered there. It curled so much going into the rings.
You can see a good portion.
Normal. Normal hit.
It's a long guard and coming out at the right angle.
Just normal, I guess.
Hard! Hurry! Hard! Hard! Clean! Whoa! Throw, Kev.
Even with the extra weight, great finish, great curl. As we say, we look ahead to the second semifinal, Howard against Wernick. Well, at lead, you have the veteran, Neil Harrison, against Peter Corner. But forward to that. Pat Perot, 2 world championships, one with Wernick, one with Hackner. Wayne Madaw has 1 world championship, that with Howard. John Kawaj against Glenn Howard. Maybe, arguably, the 2 best thirds in the country. And the veteran skips, Ed Wernick and Russ Howard, who have, well, since I think 1986, always. So I've been either one of them. But for the past 4 years, it's been Russ Howard winning Ontario.
Yeah. You're on my brush there.
It will be a great game tonight, and when we talk about each of the positions and all the little things that those 2 teams do well. Neil Harrison, the master of matching stones and understanding ice, and the same with the skips. And then the great sweeping of all the players. So we're all looking forward to that one tonight.
Threw a clinger on it.
You know, it's interesting about Harrison, and it's much the same about Don Bartlett, who plays lead for Kevin Martin. I said last year he had moved up to second. He wasn't comfortable. Harrison doesn't like to play. He's a lead. He realizes that's what he wants to play. He's not. Don't put me up anywhere else. Because that's what happened at the Ontario Tankard when Pat Perot went down. He went up to second, and he wasn't comfortable. He felt he didn't play well.
That's right. And one little thing, we try not to call it moving up and down, because that says that the position is more or less important. But you're right. That's what he likes to play, and he loves to play the game. He loves it with the skip that calls the aggressive play. So his rocks are very important to get the end going.
I came by that by a mile.
Yeah, I know. We can stick it somehow on the right.
Just right on the edge.
That was actually a very nice shot there to tap that biter out.
I'll give you 5 Turnbulls for 1 Moore.
Took one right on the side there.
No way.
No?
It's 10.
And I even got Turnbull to autograph mine. That's right. Yeah, the curling cards have become very popular. Don Walchuk playing 9 and desperate. He's down 8-3. Last rock.
I give my card out now with a little piece of fudge.
Good idea.
Man for line. Come on, we're going to run out of rings here. Come on.
That's how much movement there is.
Yeah, they're saying that it's just curling so hard, it's not going to even get into the house.
A little late.
Not today.
No, it's just everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for Don Walchuk. He's actually not throwing the rock that badly. Just had trouble with the ice.
Want to go over here?
Yeah. I'll go for the butt. I chucked that thing. Yeah.
That's the luxury of the lead, of being able to being ahead in the game. You can say casually, oh, I really chucked that one. But if you're in a tie game and you're drawing to lie 2, you don't chuck it like that, I'll tell you.
And that's where you, as they said earlier, Linda, you're up that much, your concentration, just let it down a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't a big shot for him. He's made all the big ones that he's needed today.
Don Walchuk, his final stone. Here in 9. Come on! At least a big finish.
Thanks, Kev.
That's it. He will pick up 1 here as he puts it into the top of the 12.
Thanks, Kevin.
But Don Walchuk, as Ray and Linda say, it wasn't his day. It has really been Kevin Martin's week, as he has gone through this now undefeated to put himself in position to take home a minimum of $20,000 and possibly the first prize of $40,000 as Kevin Martin will win this 8-4, the final score.
And you guys hit well, so.
Oh, and it's been impressive because last night the game didn't go 10 ends either. Kevin Martin winning fairly handily. Again today, a fairly easy win against a good team, Don Walchuk. So Kevin Martin looking very strong so far.
And Kevin Martin has really rolled. I mean, he's beaten Bruce Law, Randy Wojtowicz, a former Saskatchewan champion, Don Walchuk already once, then Vic Peters, the former Canadian champion, of course, out of Winnipeg, and then the Swedish champion, Peter Lindholm. And now he adds Walchuk for a second time. So Kevin Martin is showing signs that he just may be the team to beat this week here in the 94 Seagram's VO Cup. He wins 8-4 over Don Walchuk. Will now play either Russ Howard or Ed Wernick in the championship final.
Nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year and Best Supporting Actor. Harrison Ford is The Fugitive. Catch it now on video cassette, wherever videos are sold.
This Saturday's Lotto 649 guaranteed minimum jackpot is $15 million. Don't miss out.
Excel's unique cooling sensation freshens your breath a long time. Don't just freshen your breath, accelerate it with long-lasting Excel sugar-free gum.
Hungry. Hey, Mr. Sub.
And it's sorted with everything on it? But you don't just get the sandwich. With the sandwich, you get a bag with an entry form for the Great Canadian Playoff Party Contest. You can win one of 3 Sony-colored TVs and a hockey playoff party catered by Mr. Sub for 20 friends. There's Rock'em Sock'em videos, TSM bomber jackets, and other great prizes to be won. And by the way, we recommend that you eat your sub before you mail in the bag.
At Mr. Sub, fresh thinking is what we are.
Introducing the all-new 1994 Sonoma. We packed everything we know into this one. Sonoma, only from GMC Truck.
Now it's time for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Interstate Batteries. And Linda, it comes from the 6th end when it just didn't go right for Don Walchuk.
No, it was a good chance for Don to try and get some pressure on Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin leading at this point with last rock, but Don's trying to tap a yellow stone belonging to the opponent, but then onto a red stone and trying to split his 2 red ones, going for a steal, but for sure trying to put the pressure on Kevin Martin, and it's going to over curl here. He's going to miss the split, and Kevin Martin ends up getting to this end and takes a big lead.
Well, he scored 4 times as he went on to an 8-4 win over Don Walchuk. A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for training and development of coaches in amateur sports on behalf of TSN and Interstate Batteries. We check them before you buy them for fresh power guaranteed. Kevin Martin is in position now to win $40,000 and the VO Cup for 1994. Kevin Martin wins over Don Walchuk, and he's standing by with Ray.
Well, Kevin, a root canal is never any fun, but it must feel a little bit better after that game.
That was a good game. That was a solid game. It feels good to get in the final and wait and see what happens.
That's nice. Well, you curled just fabulously. We just saw the turning point shot, and you watched it with me. Your next shot ran very, very straight. For a moment, it looked like it might have been in the guard.
It was awfully tight. We couldn't see any air between the 2 rocks as they went by, but it went by again.
Talk a little bit about your front end. They're young and they don't have a lot of experience, but boy, they sure look strong out there today.
Donnie Barlow will probably give you a kiss for saying he's young.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're curling really good. Donnie's, those come-arounds to the top 8 are crucial. It really sets up a good end for getting 2s and 3s if you can get that thing in the top 8, and Donnie made them all. James must have curled 96, 98% today.
Oh, they curled fantastic. And Don Martin is young compared to me. You see, everybody's young.
Well,
isn't it?
yeah.
Kevin Park, it's nice to have him back. I mean, in the years gone by, he can make them all, and he also made them today.
He always comes out to play, you bet, and we're getting along a lot better now than a couple of years ago, and there doesn't seem to be any problems at all.
Wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. I'm sure that no matter who wins this evening, you'll have your hands full. Well, good luck to you.
Thanks a lot.
And who will he play? Well, it's going to be either Russ Howard or Ed Wernick. They'll square off in semifinal number 2. And we'll have it for you 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain. It's Wernick against Howard, the second semifinal of the Seagram's VO Cup from here in Calgary.
Presenting the Yardman 3-in-1 self-propelled mower. It mulches, bags, discharges, has a 6-speed drive and a ferocious 5.5 horsepower engine, all for the price of much tamer mowers. Yardman Mowers and Riders. Call for the dealer nearest you.
To be one of the great ones, you need discipline and desire. And most of all, you need a voice deep inside you, pushing you on.
Hey, baby, it's showtime. It's rock and roll time. Climb the lane, baby. Dipsy Doo, Dunkaroo. Hey, be a Skywalker. Slam Jam Bam. Mr. Sensational, a real PC here. And Orbix at work. You're going to make...
Great look. Beautiful hair. And only weeks ago, she came to my salon with a problem. Dandruff. So I showed her what Head & Shoulders can do. We washed half her hair with ordinary shampoo, the other half with Head & Shoulders. With regular use of ordinary shampoo, the flakes come back. But with regular use of Head & Shoulders, look, no more flakes. Looking good, Sally.
Thanks to you.
Head & Shoulders. Dandruff care for great-looking hair.
Snack attack, snack attack.
Looks like a job for Captain Nibbler.
Packs of 5 singles, 2 McCain cheese nibblers, good for you. Zap that snack attack, everyone agree. Nothing tastes quite like real cheese.
Your whole family will love the delicious, nutritious taste of McCain Cheese Nibblers, the satisfying snack that comes in all their favorite varieties.
Zap that snack attack, pick a pack today. McCain cheese nibblers, what do you say?
Zap that snack attack.
Kevin Martin wins 8-4 over Don Walchuk here in this opening semifinal, but the key end was the 6th. When Walchuk looked like he may have had a chance to steal 1, maybe 2 to get himself back into it. But it didn't turn out that way, as Kevin Martin would score a big 2.
Clean, very, clean, hip. Easy. Clean. Yep. Oh. Whoa. Girl. Get off that one. Okay.
It just seems to straighten up a little bit at the end because it didn't curl.
Not bad. Well, I mean, if you do this just right here,
almost
you
the
throw
same
a
shot.
shot, and he's got to draw for 1.
Right off here is good.
Off of anyone. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Off that top one there.
I don't know if we can do that, though. Just have to be a straight draw there almost again. Huh?
A straight draw, you're going to set him up for a double. And if you come back here, you set him up for a double by hitting this one. Throw the intern, come around. Accomplish the same sort of thing. But then...
Here's what they're talking about now. You heard Randy say the intern come around.
Well, the yellow one's around.
Well, that's just it.
Not
If
like
we
that.
come here...
Or can you want to come with
that's
the
no
out
good,
turn?
because he'll just hit the crotch, eh?
I think we got to make... I think if you can get a little roll off this and come over here.
No matter what you do, there's going to be shots for Kevin Martin to come off his own and make a double off yours.
Just as long as you're behind this one here.
I think the best way to try and get some separation is to tap the yellow onto the red.
I think the bottom line here is get another rock in the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, this rock here could be driven back, too.
Yeah,
that's
you
what
got
we're
another
talking
one in
about
there.
now.
Got to come in. As long as when we come off of this one, we don't leave it. What if we go back here so he comes around and up for all three?
Well, but the thing, if I don't get enough separation, like, I think probably just has a crotch double to get rid of them all.
Play this. Take this back ring and end up over here.
Yeah, I think you have to rearrange them a little bit. Even if you come in with the intern, there's going to be a shot
split
there
them up, eh?
off the yellow
We had
one.
lots of room there, eh? I see that good?
Oh, what do you mean a lot of room? Which way?
Well, we got by quite a bit, so. But I
Back
see it
ring
good.
weight.
What do we take? We had about there.
In here. Trying to roll over into here.
Just a touch more, yeah.
This will go here, and you get these rocks, see this one here separated from this one here. Very big shot right here.
Well, Walchuk needs to get something going. Remember, he does not have last rock. He trails by 2 in a position here that he might be able to steal one. Martin with the hammer. Final stone for Don Walchuk.
You want to get this one in play.
Ow! Yep! Hey! Come on!
It's curling more than they want. So by the guard.
Quick.
Even if you hit the red one and separate them, it would be fine. Just curled too much. And,
Unbelievable.
Hasn't been his day.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, right on the beam.
You haven't got anything else.
Hole's pretty big, isn't it?
Stays really straight, eh?
I think the intern looks biggest, but...
You like the intern? I kind of like my out better than...
Okay. Your choice.
The in's probably... No. Let's go with the out turn.
That's interesting. The in-turn looks like it's the natural turn to come down and there's more room because you're going into it like that.
Yeah.
But you heard what Kevin say,
Get it through the hole, and if it stops...
My out turn, I like it better. It'll run straight down here, hit that right there. That's going to eliminate that stone there. And that could be a big end for Mr. Martin.
As long as I get by the red one, I don't think I can hit it too thin. It will have a tendency to float, I think.
Final stone for Kevin Martin and a chance to really put a lock on it here. Possibility of looking at 3, maybe 4.
No!
Oh, he just got by the...
And look at this.
And it backed up. Look at that. Did it back up to take points away?
It's like 2, eh?
Yeah, it did.
It almost sucked back up the shot.
My goodness. He was looking at 4, and he backed up off the jam, and it backed up to take away 2. My goodness. I don't think I've seen that before. He was looking at 4, and then the stone came back off the jam, and he got 2.
Well, he just got by the yellow guard. He said it would run straight, and look, they were taking a deep breath to make sure it got by.
At this point, he looks like he has 4. He hits the back 2 and then backs it up, and only gets 2.
That's wild.
Just the angle of the way those 2 red stones at the back of the house. Look at how it kicks off. The red one kicks off 1, then the other red one, and that gives it the forward movement, I guess you call it, to go back into the rings.
And 2 in 6, and 2 more in 8, and Kevin Martin went on to what was pretty easy. It looked very easy, an 8-4 win over Donnie Walchuk.
Well, they made it look easy, you're right, Vic, but what great shots. Picking frozen rocks sideways out of the rings. I mean, Don Walchuk didn't know what to do out there to try and get something going. A great display by Kevin Martin.
But we shouldn't be surprised because we think back to Hamilton, and that was the kind of team they were then. And, you know, and again, it's so much, that was the feeling that people had, Ray, about those teams who were the Pat Ryans of the world, the Kevin Martins. They couldn't play this game. Gee, they can play any style they want.
Well, I don't think we ever thought, Victor, they couldn't play this game. I just think that they played the other games so well that they really didn't have to play the quiet come-around game. That was a very interesting end. Some of our viewers may be at home saying to themselves, well, why didn't he guard that situation? And I pointed out with the telestrator that if you did guard that, for example, a long guard, then he probably would have played the long angle raise for 4. So the key was to get another rock and play. Unfortunately, we saw it happen. It rolled, it curled a little too much and didn't chip it. If he gets some separation, like we talked, Linda, then he may have got out of that end and maybe got out of that game.
Yeah. It's interesting when you get on a roll. Maybe Kevin Martin right now is looking for another dentist to go to because after one root canal, he comes out here and plays very well. But he's just having that kind of week.
Oh, he is, but he's going to be up against it in the next game because look at the great game we have tonight, Wernick and Howard, and just a wonderful game. Wernick's had the long haul. He's had a lot of games he's played. Kevin Martin's the one that's had the easier time of it. But I think Wernick's going to play great, but look out for Howard, too.
Well, that's the thing. We got a chance to see a little bit of Ed and some of the team today. And Ed, particularly, I mean, he's 46 years old, and he played, well, they said, 8 games, I think it was, in 2 days.
Something wrong with 46?
No, but 8 games in 2 days, and that can take its toll.
It can, but, you know, Ed has had a tremendous year, and I watched him throw a little bit just quickly this morning, and his balance is back, and that's the key to him.
Well, there's no doubt. A couple of years ago when we watched him come out, he looked like he was going to fall over, but not anymore. Ed Wernick is as solid as he says he's been an awful long time. We'll return with more from the Calgary Curling Club. It is the 1994 Seagram's VO Cup. Hello there, you're a winner.
Conventional wisdom says a recycled cottonelle can't be as cottony soft. Well, at Scott Paper, we care about the same things you do, so we put our lab people on it. We got the usual lab humor. And this, a second cottonelle. It's 100% recycled, but unlike any other recycled, it's 100% cottony soft. Recycled cottonelle, the only cottony soft recycled. So much for conventional wisdom.
For all those people who want a roll of bathroom tissue to last longer, there's Purex Jumbo. With 50% more pillowy soft sheets on every roll, it takes forever to run out.
Right now at Tim Hortons, you can get a sandwich in a 16 fluid-ounce Coke from only $3.19 to $3.99. I'm sorry, we can't actually show you your sandwich because we haven't made it yet. We can't even show you our crusty bread because we haven't baked it yet. You see, at Tim Hortons, we make sandwiches fresh for you. Fortunately, we can show you this sandwich we've just made for me. If you want to see your sandwich, you'll just have to order one. Thank you.
Always got time for Tim Hortons.
Good deal.
We can't be a day late. We can't be an hour late. We have to be ready for the Commonwealth Games. What we need to do now is a lot more testing with real users.
Well, that's easy. That's really great. Thank you, Mark. When I think of IBM, it's the service. Rob and David Davis.
Actually, to be serious, it'll all work.
If it doesn't, we've got a fast boat waiting.
It's going to be right on.
TSN Championship Curling. The semifinal of the 1994 Seagram's VO Cup. Live from the Calgary Curling Club in Calgary has been brought to you by Seagram Canada.
With you at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain for the second semifinal of the Seagram's VO Cup. What a semifinal it will be. Russ Howard against Ed Wernick. Till then, on behalf of Linda Moore, Ray Turnbull, and our entire crew, I'm Vic Roeder. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye from Calgary in the Seagram's VO Cup.